Hello everyone, and welcome to today's stream. I'm very excited to be here. I'm TheNando, a YouTuber, slash writer, slash engineer, slash who knows what else. And today I'm sharing this lovely game, Age of Empires, that I adore. I won't be alone, I'm sharing it with Almantas. And say hello to everyone, Almantas.
Hello, Nando's chat. I am Almantas, former professor, current VTuber. And yeah, no, I'm happy. Thank you for having me on, Nando.
No, it was a huge pleasure. And last time we streamed, it was something about 2 or 3 months ago, I think. I was surprised.
It was longer. It's been a while.
Yeah, and I was surprised because I think maybe you feel the same when you are a streamer. Time just flies by. I felt like we streamed last week, and then I checked I was getting the thumbnail from last stream, and I was like, whoa, so much time has passed.
I remember saying on my own stream, like one of the people I've collabed with, is a regular in my chat, and she was stopping by and talking. I was like, oh yeah, me and Lowen did this collab a couple weeks ago of this game that neither of us thought was very good. And she was like, bro, that was like 3 or 4 months ago.
Yes.
Well, it's this odd thing, right? I think this happens to a lot of us. It's not just like a streamer thing; it's an adult thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
like,
yes.
There's something I noticed about my life, like before I was even streaming, was like how often people ask me what's going on. I'm like, I can't describe in any meaningful detail like what I'm doing, but I'm somehow also really busy.
Yes.
Like there's no events, but I'm also busy.
Yeah, a lot of people sometimes ask me, how are you so busy? I don't have a job technically, and like, you don't even have a job, how are you so busy? And I'm like, I don't know, but I am.
I have this general theory that, and this is partially because like I'm kind of a workaholic, and I come from a workaholic family. My dad's like terrifying on this front, and that's that. If I have free time, I will inevitably find things to fill that free time.
Yes.
Like it doesn't even not even necessarily productive stuff. Like I will end up making stupid little projects for myself all the time. I made myself a stupid little project that I finished this morning. That's relevant to our interest today, which was I wanted to win at least one skirmish match against a hard as every civ in AOE. And I don't have the Armenia-Georgia pack yet because I'm very, very cheap. And I don't really care about those civs very much. They don't seem that interesting to me. And so my last one was Vikings. So I've gotten all the achievements for like winning as X civilization. And yeah, so I just give myself these stupid little projects. It's like, why did I do this? How does this help me?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know.
Why not? Yeah, and that's the thing also. Last time where we streamed, I checked the title and everything, and it was like, oh, I teach Almantas about Age of Empires. It was very like, oh, I'm the master, Almantas is the apprentice. Okay,
yeah.
I still feel like I know a little bit more about Age of Empires.
You definitely know more. You're definitely much better than me.
Yeah, but this time it's not titled like that. This is more of a sharing Age of Empires, not a professor and student. I mean, you are probably more used to be the professor, but
oh, absolutely. I mean, well, the thing is, like, you never stop learning.
Yes.
When you're a teacher, like you are. This is one of those things that's oftentimes a little bit confusing to people, but like you don't. It's not straightforward. The relationship between student and teacher is not always as straightforward as people would like it to be. In particular, your students will ask you a provocative question all the goddamn time. It's part of the reason why I really dislike the turn that American universities have made over the last couple of decades towards really separating teaching duties from research duties, which is not true of all universities, but it is true of R1s. Really do that. Slacks don't do that. Slacks don't do that at all. But I think the Slacks produce better results for exactly this reason. I think that the mentoring, teaching, and the researching and knowledge production are very interwoven. Like you kind of need to do them all together. Anyway, that's a bit of a divergence.
Yes, no.
So, I think let's talk a little bit about where we are on. So you're 1400. We've got a We've got a link. We've got a. I'm actually not watching your stream. I'm watching your chat, but I don't have the video play because it's save on bandwidth. so you're 1400 per this replay. I'm like 700.
Okay, so
I think if I actually, I think I'm better now than I was a couple weeks ago. The last time I played against a human, so maybe I'd go up if I played a couple matches. But the first couple matches in AOE are miserable.
Oh yes,
it's miserable.
And that also, I think the learning experience of how you learn ranked and everything shows a lot about your character. I remember, I think you said on stream that like the ideal way to start Age of Empires or any strategy game is through learning the meta and learning the guides. That's the best way to start it. For me,
I think it's, oh wait. I think it's the best way for me personally. It's not how I like to learn, I should say. I don't know if it's the best way to learn in general. It's how I learn.
I'm a very... and I'm about... After that, I need to say hello to everyone in chat because I see so many names that are familiar to me and familiar to you, but I'll get there in a second. But for me, my learning experience in Age of Empires was quite unique and peculiar. I knew nothing about the game. I know a lot about RTS, but not Age of Empires, and a friend challenged me, and I got completely destroyed, and I was like, oh, I want to beat you. So I queued up and I played 100 ranked matches.
That's so many. That's more ranked matches than I've played in my life.
Yes, and
that's so many.
It was like in a period of 2 weeks I played 100 ranked matches, and that's how I got my basics.
Lord, hold on. Let me do some. Let me pull up some math here. So, I think it's fair to say that a ranked match is rarely going to be under half an hour. Let's average it out to 45 minutes, right?
Okay, 40 minutes, I think.
Well, we also include queue time, right?
Yeah.
Queue time and and loading screens and stuff like that. I think we can round it up to 45. So
yes,
you did 100. That's 4,500 minutes. So let's divide it by 60, 75. So you played 30 plus hours a week.
Yeah.
You did a full-time job of Age of Empires 2 just to prove a point.
Yeah, and then that friend never beat me ever since. Now I always crush him. And
Red Bull.
That's how my journey started in Age of Empires 2.
Red Bull. Wow. So I started Age of Empires in a much more normal fashion, I think. A much more typical fashion. Which is, I didn't really play I grew up with video games in the household. Because I've got brothers. I come from a pretty big family, and my brothers played video games, and fairly typically, like, they would play a video game, and I would, like, read and, like, talk with them about what's going on. So, like, that's, like, one of my brothers would be playing Zelda, and I would, like, have the map open, and would be, like, talking with them about where I think they need to go and stuff like that. And then it wasn't until Age of Empires 1 came out. And that one actually got my interest. So I played Age of Empires 1 on, like, not on release, but not long after release. And then I bought Age of Empires 2 on release. And I played it a lot when I was younger. And then, partially, you know, hot take here, I actually think Rise of Nations is a better RTS.
Oh, yes,
but Age of Empires 2 has a meta to talk about, and I actually like talking about metas a lot, so I'm here. There's not much of a meta in Rise of Nations anymore. But it's... but yeah, a combination of that and also, like, around 2003, 2005, somewhere in there, is like, I just kind of stopped playing video games for, like, a decade or so. Not for any particular reason. I just, like, did other stuff with my life.
Yeah.
So, like, I have this bubble in my life where I was young and, like, there weren't really too many online guides, and, like, if you wanted to play 200 pop in Age of Empires 1, you had to do registry editing.
Oh, yes, I know about that, yes.
Yeah, which is... People, for the love of God, please do not do reg edit if you don't know what you're doing. I'm amazed I didn't brick my dad's work computer. Holy crap, what an irresponsible thing to encourage people to do for a video game. Yeah, so, like, I have this period of my life where I was playing Age of Empires in, like, a very naive way. And when I talk to people who are kind of like my age demographic, like, that's their memory of Age of Empires 2, is like, they have like a hazy idea that there is a dark age, and like they remember like building like really complicated walls in the castle in Imperial Age and having these really long post-Imperial fights of like 100 paladins on 100 paladins in waves, and then they all run out of resources and they're confused as to what's going on. They're clicking up to feudal age at like 22 minutes. Stuff like that is kind of how people tend to remember it when I talk to people my own age. And so like that's like my time playing Age of Empires 2. Like I think the majority of it was like that kind of era, and then I got back to it more recently because my brother got into it. One of my brothers was like, he's like a big nostalgia tripper. Like that's his gaming engagement, is nostalgia tripping. And so he got me back into it, and now I'm way more into it than he is. And it comes and goes in waves, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like after our last time together, like I didn't play it for like at all for a while, and then like I got back into it like not long after you were like, hey, would you like to come on my channel again? I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, I booted up Age of Empires, and I've been playing it a bunch the last couple weeks.
Nice.
But it's it comes and goes in waves for me.
Yeah, as you said on one of your streams, one of your latest streams, you said, "Oh yeah, I have someone I know who is a streamer who specializes in a game that's 25 years old."
Yeah,
you said, I wasn't there, but then I checked the VOD and
yeah, and that was you. That was you.
Yeah, yes,
that was you. And it's interesting to see this in among streamers and like how people are as streamers. I'm a variety guy. Right, because I've got terrible ADHD, and I mostly do calligraphy. It's like the closest thing I have to any specialty is traditional art. But yeah, so I am a much worse player than you, but I think I read more analysis than you do.
I'm
possibly.
Sure. Yeah, when I'm casting, sometimes people are like, "Oh, it's this unique tech," and I'm like, "What does that tech do?" My game knowledge is very limited. So if we do like a quiz, like, oh, this tech does what? How much? You would probably beat me. I would believe that.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. I mean, my main thought from today, having played Vikings for the first time in over 20 years, I think, was this chieftain's tech kind of rocks.
Yeah.
I'm kind of into chieftains. This thing's kind of cool. This is actually pretty neat.
And I just want to go over two things before we go into Age of Empires itself. First, of course, I need to say hello to people in chat. I see Bjorn, always great to see his support here. Joseph Manktello, a regular here on the channel. Silencer as well. The Hidden Levels, hello. And then of course, Hunhar. I don't know much English. Oh, and if you don't know much English but you are using Google Translate or anything to try to communicate with us, that's absolutely perfect. English is not my first language. Any effort you do not have to feel ashamed. Any small effort that you do to try to engage in a different language is already a major victory, in my opinion. So thanks for joining. And then we see Vexingcat. Hello, who is more from your side of things, and a lovely
Vex is one of my profound regulars. She's extremely active in my Discord,
and also great streamer.
Great streamer. Shockingly, we've only done one collab, and it was one of my favorite collabs I've done. Me and her did a poetry collab, where we did poetry readings. And that was a really good one. Somehow we just like haven't managed to like make schedules work to do another one in a while. I'll probably be joining for Halloween unless something goes wrong. She's got a big Halloween event planned.
When you say a poetry reading collab, I'm imagining like you wearing one of those outfits like "Hello, fellow kids," and you're doing a rap battle, but instead of rap, it's you saying.
Oh, no, that's so different.
I know, it's not what I'm imagining. You and Vex.
Nando, you can probably guess roughly how old my favorite poet is.
Ooh, 2,000 years old.
Not too bad. 1400. My favorite poet is Li Bai from the 600s.
Okay.
It's no. Vex's favorite poet is Maya Angelou.
Okay,
who's
okay.
much more recent, and also in English. But it's no, no, no. The sort of thing I would be wearing is very much is like probably more in tune with what my model wears than like most of my content. Like it was very much the type of person wearing a turtleneck and a scarf type of content.
Yeah, so not a rap battle, but poetry.
No, old poetry. No, it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Oh.
But yes,
Oh,
yes. I think I'm also hello to Nando's community, and I'm going to back up Nando. Don't worry about ESL. I'm a New Yorker. Of the 5 people I've talked to today, one of them is an English first speaker. So,
yes.
So that's not like unusual for me.
Yeah. I do try my best with my English, and I think
Your English is good. Your English
yeah,
is good.
Thank you.
Like it's. I mean, I'm not familiar. It's one of those things that is. This is just kind of an aside about languages and stuff like that. One of those things that's always been really funny to me coming into VTubing is how many Europeans I've met. You are the only person from Portugal I've met.
Oh, okay.
You're the only one I know. And like it's one of those things that I like. You've probably heard me get a little bit of a rant about this. 'Cause I get a little bit cranky about the very stereotypical European, like, oh, Americans don't know anything about places outside of America. It's like, well, I worked in an office where we had 60 something just on my floor, not in the entire building, but on my floor we had 60 something people whose first language was French.
Oh.
0 of them were from France.
Yeah.
Like, Haiti was the biggest one, followed by Senegal was another big one. French Guiana was another contributor. A couple of other Caribbean islands, like Martinet. But it was mostly Haiti and West Africa. Like, I know tons of people from other countries. It's just Europeans don't tend to move to America very much.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
like,
it's definitely true.
Yeah.
Even in my friend group, I mean, we are the generation where everyone is leaving Portugal.
Yeah.
But they are leaving Portugal either to other places in Europe. I have friends who have left for Asia. I have friends who have left for America. I have friends who are teaching in Indonesia. I don't know anyone in my group of people that has immigrated to America. No one.
No. Yeah.
So
America is a very wealthy country. It's Americans talk like we can talk about like how inflation operates and blah blah blah. But in terms of like our median per capita income is really really high. Like I think Norway is the only European country that's got is like the largest country that's ahead of us. I think is Norway, and Norway's not a big country. Norway,
yeah.
My city is 3 times the size of Norway. So, not a big country. It's like a handful of countries have higher incomes than us. None of them are large. But also America, which also means like it's expensive to live here. And there's a huge mark against it if you're European. There's a huge fucking reason to not move here, which is our healthcare system.
Yes.
Like, if you're rich, it's a great healthcare system, but if you're not already rich, it's a terrible healthcare system. And if you're coming from Europe, like, the paperwork alone is like enough of a reason not to move here.
Yeah.
The paperwork alone. I have spent probably. There's a specific healthcare claim that I have been involved with that I am 3 months into spending 5 to 10 hours a week on, and it's still not resolved.
Damn.
And that's just the paperwork. Like,
yeah, for me, now I'm quite a healthy person. I have type 1 diabetes since a kid, and along my life, I've had over 30 hospitalizations. So, for me, the healthcare in America is a big argument against.
And diabetes is a particularly bad one.
Yeah.
Like even among like bad ones to have in America, like diabetes is an exceptionally bad one because, do you know how much a month's supply of insulin costs here?
I once I ran the calculations, because I consume more insulin than the average diabetic, I think I would spend like 3,000 to 4,000 a month there.
Yep, that's about right. Yep,
Yeah.
it would be 3,000 to 4,000 a month. Yep.
So yeah,
if you need elevated insulin, yeah, it's well, so like that's 4 to 5 times my rent, and I live in New York.
Yes.
It's devastating. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
insane. So there's definitely good reasons, and like, but by the same token, like, that's also part of the reason why we get so many. Like, those are like the bad causes, but those are also kind of caused by it being a wealthy country. And in like, that's why we get so many immigrants from, Mexico and Haiti and other parts of the Americas, right? Is like, you can make just the sheer amount of cash you can make.
Yes.
Doing the same job in America versus doing the same job in Mexico. Auto plant workers in America, unless you're working for Tesla, in which case you're going to take a huge wage hit. Don't work for Tesla. You're talking like $80,000 to $100,000 a year for a job that doesn't require a particularly specialized education. Like a medium education level job. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And if you're from a country where there's not a lot of money, and you're good at saving, and you can send a lot of that back to your family, that's like a huge deal. It's a huge deal. But if you're coming from a wealthy country, like, why would you bother? Like what is here for you? Like, what is the point of coming to America? Like, why come here when you, and particularly if you're like, American immigration is pretty bad, but it's a lot easier than a lot of countries' immigration.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of horror stories about how rough American immigration is, but having known a lot of people who've immigrated here compared to immigrating to even Canada, it's a lot easier, let alone somewhere like the People's Republic of China or Japan.
Yeah, Japan. I was thinking about Japan as well. Yeah.
Japan's one of the worst. Japan's a really rough one. And then but then again, like you're European. Like, if you want to move to a wealthier country, why would you come here when you could go to Germany?
Yeah, or the Netherlands, or
the Netherlands, or like, even just like Italy. There's not a lot. There's it would be a lot less work, and you'd get most of the benefits, and then you'd also not be paying for your healthcare as much.
And considering that I'm from Portugal, almost every country in Europe will be an improvement, at least in Western Europe.
Yeah. It's like, what would be worse for you? Like Greece?
I think probably I'm thinking more along the lines of Romania, and
okay.
I think Greece is still better than Portugal economically.
Oh, interesting.
I need to check that. Or the UK, yes.
Well, the UK made their choice.
Yes.
The UK made their choice. Oh boy, poor UK, poor British. If you are British, my condolences.
The Hidden Levels is from Wales. I know. I know them quite well.
Yeah.
So.
There was a really I do like economics and politics stuff in my other line of work. So it's on my mind a lot. And one of those things I thought was really brutal was that somebody published recently was a list of countries that in 2010 had lower per capita GDP than the UK and now have higher per capita GDP than the UK. And it's like 30 countries. It's like a lot.
Yeah.
It's like a lot. And some of them are like not super big jumps, but some of them are like wow, like Singapore and Ireland are particularly like, oh buddy.
Yes.
Like, oh buddy, your former colonies are like leapfrogging you really fast. Australia too. I at some point I think South Africa might actually pull ahead.
No.
But yes, it's
Go ahead.
But yeah, you've got very little reason to move to America. Anyway, that's just kind of a long divergence talking about from the springboard of just like ESL's fine. Huntar, you're fine.
And
come on.
Just to add, I also want to add one final thing before we start streaming. I want to leave, of course, Almantas is here. His socials are in the description. We'll probably repeat this at the end. But I want to give a huge compliment to Almantas and his content. We both... this is my time to make you blush. I think last stream that you did, a book stream, you said, oh, I like to make people blush. Now it's my time to make you blush, Almantas. And
I'm ready.
Yeah, because me and Almantas share a lot of the same mentality when it comes to streaming. We both consider this a form of expression and art, and the compliment I want to give you, it's maybe a compliment that a lot of people won't understand, but I think you will feel how important it is that when I watch your content and your streams, I think about them a lot. For example, I'm going for a walk on the streets and I think about, oh, yesterday Almantas said that honesty is overrated as a virtue. Let me reflect and dive deeper into that thought. So I think as someone who wants to produce an artistic creation, the greatest thing we can do is be memorable, is producing something that people think about, and you cause that effect on me, and that's the greatest compliment I can give your content here.
Yeah, that's a surprise to hear. That's a surprise to hear, especially because I don't make it easy to revisit my content. I don't even keep most of my VODs. I just throw most of my stuff away.
Yeah, but I revisit it mentally. I don't need to rewatch it. I usually have insane memory, and I'm like walking and I'm thinking, oh, Almantas talked about that the other... I remember your streams. I don't need to watch them again. Almantas had this discussion. That was interesting. Let me, in my mind, dive deeper into that topic.
Thank you.
Yeah. I hope you blushed.
I did, and I'm gonna have to do the thing that I find in order to get myself back on track. I need to do the thing that I hate to make myself feel bad about myself and get myself normal again. I'm starting a subathon next week, so if you like what I do and you think that it would be nice to support me, I'm starting a big drive for subs and donations next week.
Yes.
Me. Because I do not make a lot of money, and I am on a very bad PC setup, and I could use a new one.
Yes.
But yes. Okay. The self-degrading moment out of the way here. What have we got here? What's the replay we got here?
Yeah, let's go. And this is a match I played like 2 or 3 hours ago because the game updated yesterday, and I was like, okay, I'm going to play a match. Let's see how it goes. And I played this match knowing that I'll just go over this with Almantas because this is a match I played. I can comment on what was I thinking. I don't need to assume what the players were thinking. So, what do you say about we get started on it?
Okay. Yeah, and I can say Ethiopia used to be for a while was one of my mains. Ethiopia was one of my mains for a while. I like Ethiopia a lot conceptually, but my increasing fury and hatred for getting hit with mangonel shots during Castle Age has caused me to trend away from starts that involve doing an Archer Flush. Okay, so what I see is so far smooth Dark Age, less sheep scouting than I do, but not by a lot. Yeah, I shout. So like the second sheep, I also scout with, because you can do a half circle around, about a little bit over a quarter circle.
What this one is doing, basically.
Yeah, no, but you can do that with the like send one in immediately, and then the one that's gonna be second, you can do a little quarter circle explore with. But pretty good. Like it's pretty more systematic than I am. I'm usually pretty panicky with my sheep scouting. Let's take a look at your opponent though, because you didn't get to see your own opponent.
Exactly, and he's getting all of the sheep. For example, for me, this is big. The fact that he didn't kill the villager into the tree and had a little bit of idle time. I mean, it's not huge, but
it's extremely minor. It's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. But I'm at that point where, okay, let's try to be as perfect as possible. And I'm not going to be perfect. Spoiler alert, I'm going to have idle time. I'm going to have all those shenanigans, but it's normal.
You're both going 6-3.
Yes.
And actually, I'm going to tell you something I'm going to tell you something about what I've been doing recently that's going to make me sound like a weird psycho. I've been doing 7th Villager on board.
Oh, I see that. Especially, I mean, you didn't play a lot of tournaments, but in tournament play you see that a lot to avoid the laming.
Yeah, it's partially because laming is like the worst. Like I'm like, I tend to fall apart when I start panicking. So like avoiding laming is more important than efficiency. And also it's because the timing is easier to do. 7th one on boar, and then 3 to wood, and then as soon as those 3 on wood are done, you go get the second boar.
Yes.
It's just very ergonomically smooth.
Yeah, and it's completely fine.
Yeah.
It's not a decision that's
Yeah.
harming you in any way, shape, or form. So
Nope. We got the deer lure going on.
yeah, in this game, right away when you're in the queue, you'll see, okay, Ethiopians versus Bulgarians. You'll already think of the matchup, and Bulgarians right now are probably considered the worst civ in the game.
Yep. Yeah.
So I was happy right away. I was like, okay, I want to win this one. I won't reveal if I win or not. I want to win this one for the stream. I'm against Bulgarians. I was already happy.
Yeah. Bulgarians are currently considered the weakest.
But
so you're matched on eco, exactly matched on eco. Well, okay, now you're 1 villager up, but like whatever. Whatever.
But when you see my scout now going forward, that's because I'm playing against Bulgarians, and I thought, okay, what can my opponent do as Bulgarians? Militia rush, that's what Bulgarians do. So instead of going for second deer push or anything, I thought, no, scouting information is more important. Let's get the scout out into the field and try to find my opponent's space. And Krantost, we are hello Krantost, one of my mods and greatest supporters, and also hello to Zerzon. We are casting myself, who played a ranked match 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago, right before the stream.
And he's doing the partial. He's doing the partial wall.
Yes,
which
I
I'm
like
not
this.
used to.
I also
I'm not
don't
used
do
to
this.
that type of walling. What was that? You also don't do this?
No, I also do not do the partial walling. But here I was very happy because
Yeah.
accidental laming. I don't do this on purpose, but if it happens, I take it.
Yeah, not. Oh, he's not following. He's not
No,
following through.
yeah.
He's not. Oh, brutal. He goes for the deer. Bad choice, I would say.
Yeah, because
Just
it.
flat out mistake.
Yeah, it's 2 things. It's 200 foot he lost, but also 200 foot I gained, so it's even bigger.
Yeah. No, I mean like, and especially because like he could have consolidated that very easily.
Yes.
Like he didn't need to kill you. He just needed to make sure that his scout was between the deer and you, the sheep and you, and the sheep moved too slowly for you to like really stop. Like you got away with that.
Yeah, so at this point I'm happy.
Right there.
And he probably got distracted with this and everything because this is a very late feudal age timing.
Yeah. You're going up on 20. He's on 22, and he clicked up. Barracks is going up. I do like his walling.
Yeah, very good. I agree. Walling to the TC, not being too greedy. Like this is a little bit greedy.
I do very greedy walls. I do knock it off. It's a very bad habit of mine.
Same.
I do like very. Well, it's funny because I'm playing a lot with my brother, and my brother is like, again, like he's still in like 1999 mind, and in 1999 brain, you just don't build palisades ever because they're completely worthless. You just only stonewall.
Yeah.
And you do like full base stone walls, and that's like a normal thing to do. Okay. You're going archers because you're Ethiopia, so it's insane not to do an archer rush.
Yeah.
Like, and you've rebalanced your eco.
Yeah, I had
one of those things. I've gotten out of the habit of archer rushes, but I did a couple more because I was doing those like playing every civ.
Yes.
In a row, and sometimes it's like, I may as well. I do way too many gold miners every single time. My balance is always so bad. I'm like 8 on wood, 6 on gold. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's the main thing that the coaching session with Hera helped me on was in eco. When I got coached by Hera, a small player.
Yeah, small player. Only the best player in the history of the game.
Yeah, just won his 8th S tier tournament in a row.
Aside, I am not sympathetic to the people saying that like, that it's still like a real contest if Viper's is good. I'm not sympathetic. I don't think. Viper's still active. Viper's still playing. Viper's still very good, and he's getting absolutely bodied by Hera. Like it's not like comparing like older tournament wins doesn't matter when we've got current tournament wins.
Yeah.
It's not like we're comparing Babe Ruth or something like that. No, he's going archer because he's the Nando.
Yeah, I think.
Magyar archer rush.
Yeah, I'm known for two things: archer rush and bad building placements.
Okay.
I lost here a villager to the. I knew this was coming. I know I'm playing against Bulgarians, but I still lost a villager.
He didn't kill your one archer when he really had an easy opportunity to. So
yeah.
So far, I would take this.
And going greedy.
You're on double racks. He's got some militia. He's not doing. I'm pretty sure that the two men at arms could have just killed that one archer, right? Like
yeah. If I micro away, it depends. If you kite, they won't be able to reach me. And these are Ethiopian archers, so they fire faster.
That's true.
But still, it would have been better than this.
It would have been better than this. Yeah. He's getting nothing. He's just nothing.
Yeah.
Just no effect. No effect, and you're now at 6 archers. That's enough that you can do damage.
Yeah, and a lot on gold, but that's just because of the 2 archery ranges. And he added a stable. Some walls here. He's very safe.
He's very safe. I'm not sure what the he's got scouts in your base. Okay, that's an interesting move on his part. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's interesting. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I do hate his micro. But men at arms into scouts, I think was actually a kind of good move.
I agree.
I think that was pretty clever.
And he got 3 kills. If I'm him at this point, I'm like, okay, I got what I wanted. Let's think Castle Age. That would be my move. That'd be my recommendation. I don't know if it would be my move, but it would be my recommendation. And
my move is I tend to I try to keep scouts in the opponent's economy as much as possible.
Yeah.
I have turned into a dick.
Yeah, I always say that to people watching. The best way to play Age of Empires is to be an S, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching I was recently. Oh, he's gonna get. Ooh. I do not like the archery range. I don't like the archery range. I think that of the things he had available as options, because like he knows a counterattack is coming, right?
Yeah.
I think spending that wood on more farms to get castle sooner and support more scouts would have been better. I think a tower would have been a good idea.
I agree.
A preemptive towering would have been would have made your life a lot harder.
Yeah, because the thing is, I have a lot of army, but with the wall he has and everything, it's not easy to find damage. Even if I have...
like if you put a tower on top of that gold mine that he's got up in the north, all of a sudden he's got a pretty safe, very forward, like relatively forward gold mine. And now he's off gold. Does he have any gold in his wall?
No.
Oh, he's in trouble.
I absolutely agree. I think the play would be tower the hill, and it should have been done earlier.
Yeah, he should. Like as soon as that man at arms, as soon as he saw how many archers you were building in base, like probably when the man at arms rush failed, but certainly when he pulled off of your gold line, that's when he should put the tower up.
Yeah. Only now
he knew that you had the kind of archer mass. Oh, you are going like big. You're going big. This is a big archer. You are. You want to end this.
Yes.
You are looking at that score graph, and you're like, we can go for the throat here.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why I'm back at playing archers, you talked about the mangonel, and we've talked about that in the past. I think I've reached the point where I can counter mangonels with archers, because I'm becoming a nerd, a micro nerd. So.
I mean, the thing is, like, I can do it, I just hate it.
Yes.
I hate doing it. It's just unfun. And like you screw it up, it feels so bad.
Yeah.
Feels so. So this is an interesting move by him. I don't love it, but I get it. So he's coming to your base to try to find eco damage.
Exactly.
Right. Because he's like, you are going to struggle to find damage against him because he's super walled in, and he's super walled in. He's super compact. You're just wandering around his wood line back and forth trying to get pot shots off. You're getting some, but like,
this
he
is
can
a
get
good
a lot
play.
more done. This is a good play. He can get a lot more done by hitting your wood line than he can by hitting your archers.
Okay, and
he should try to clear your archers, but he's not gonna fucking do it. This is not gonna clear the archers.
Yeah, even though he has skirmishes.
He needed the tower. He didn't build the tower.
Yeah, and now,
this
tower should have been preemptive, not reactionary.
These should have been up before the gold mine.
Yeah.
Because if you had the tower on the goal line, you would have had a lot of trouble getting a lot done. Like, I would have said the best move for you at that point would have probably been also go to the castle.
Yeah, and this ended up being a lot of villager kills. I reduced his army basically to nothing.
Your army is still very intact. How many is that? 11?
Yeah, this is 11, but I have in total 23. Because yeah, I have
enough.
this scattered...
That's enough that when you get the crossbow upgrade, it's going to be really
Exactly. Yeah,
That's
and he clicks up to Castle Age first, and that's exactly what he should do.
Yeah, yeah. Because again, like he gets out 3 knights before you get the crossbow upgrade out, and like you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Right. Like he doesn't even need that much. 3 or 4 knights, and this archer death ball is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm still.
And then the game's really on, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, he was better in me in the economy, eco KD, and everything. I have a better standing army, but soon, by reaching Castle Age, he can.
And he's researching bloodlines.
Yeah, so knights.
This is good. This is good moves on his part.
I'm not a big fan of the cute scouts here.
I'm not super much either. I mean, does he have market?
I think he does. No.
No, does not. Okay, because his stockpiles are terrible.
Yeah.
This is terrible stock. 500 food, 500 wood. What is he spending on? Yeah, no, he's queuing the scouts is bad.
Yeah, and look at this amazing spending of resources. This TheNando guy really knows how to play.
Yeah, you're spending your resources down well. So you just got horse collar. You're 2 minutes. So he's gonna have a minute and a half lead time on you.
And this I'm trying to get him off of gold as much as possible because I know knights are coming at this point. I saw the second stables, and I know this is his only safe gold.
Yeah.
Safe, quote unquote, because this tower, yeah, that's errors snowball. If this tower was forward before and everything.
He needs to unqueue those scouts to make room for knights. Like getting the knights out in the next, but the knights that come out for the next engagement like are decisive.
Yeah.
Right, because you've got a minute left on castle, and then you've got whatever amount of time it takes to research crossbow, and frankly, you really want. You've got a lot of upgrades to get.
Yeah.
For before like knights are going to be an absolute rampage unit up until you get a lot of upgrades out. So
exactly. Oh, and I just
really
saw this. He didn't get double bid axe. That was a huge mistake. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't fucking. I mean, in fairness, it would not help him.
Oh, true. Yes. But
like. That is not his problem is not that he doesn't have enough wood.
Yes,
not his
true.
problem.
And yeah, Bodkin and crossbow.
Bodkin and crossbow coming out immediately. You've managed to get your army out, so that's making it look pretty safe for you. Yeah, if he had managed to pick this engage like right now, it would have been pretty. I actually think it would have been kind of rough for you.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't even know where your army is. He needs to get in. Well, it's too late now.
Oh, and this is peculiar. Where. He went forward with 6 villagers.
He's got a lot of stone, and he's still got people mining stone. So is he going to castle drop you? For the boyars?
No, he's going to Krapos drop me.
Oh, for the boyars. I forgot about
yes.
Literally forgot they exist because...
Yeah, it's not...
The worst civ, so it's easy to forget about their one rule.
But when I see his army, I'm like, okay, I need to double down on the attack. Past me... would have gone back to the base, waste my opportunity. Present me knows that okay, I must not be reactive. I need to be proactive. I need to attack.
This is like the difference between being the archer player and being the cav player, right? Is like the cav player can like just the amount of time you waste walking back and forth across the map.
Yeah,
it's something the cav player can kind of tolerate. It's something the archer player really needs to avoid.
Yeah.
You need to get in this damage. I'm betting you're wishing you were Saracens right now.
Yes, but I did kill
he's driving me a little bit nuts right now because he can kill the army right here.
Yeah, I think this was a mistake going back.
Yeah, he like worst case scenario, he just makes sure that the knights go in first. But like, no, he could clear those pikes and then clear the crossbows, and he'd be in because he needs to be defeating you in detail, right? Yeah. You know, using our actual real military theory here, he needs to be defeating you in detail. That's the advantage that he's got, is that he has more initiative on picking fights, but he's got a much worse army. And if he's, like, he needs to engage everything, he needs to make engaging this death ball his last priority.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
he's making his first fight. So, because yeah, you're shooting down a fucking mill with crossbows. Like, like this is not urgent. This
Yeah,
is not urgent. Like,
yeah, and the numbers.
oh yeah, you know, this is GG right here.
Yeah,
No, if he had stuck up forward and gotten Boyars out of his crep post and gotten into your economy, it would have been a base race, and I think it would have favored him.
yeah, I agree. I think not using the mobility, engaging me, he played exactly what I wanted to happen as the archer player. This is your dream scenario, is not letting your opponent have a death ball, fighting head on. This is what you want to do as an archer player, so...
Yeah, it's well, and actually, this was so I went for a run before this because that's the type of person I am. I was actually thinking about something that I find kind of interesting in Age of Empires, right? That I have been driven slightly insane. You're getting history nerd moment here. That the extent to which Age of Empires does not model medieval combat, it's almost difficult to find a way for it to be less about medieval combat.
Yes.
And one of the things that kind of hit me in a kind of interesting way is that people often get confused about what makes something heavy infantry versus light infantry. In reality, not in video games, but in reality, the difference between a heavy infantry and a light infantry is how do they fight? What is their function operationally and tactically? The thing that makes something heavy infantry is that they are relying on other nearby members of their formation to cover them and fight together. And so the fact that heavy infantry tend to use long pole arms and heavy armor is not why they fight in that formation. They fight in that formation, and then the equipment is modified to suit that.
Okay.
That's so like Roman legionnaires and Greek phalanx men, Greek pikemen, have actually very different equipment, but they're fundamentally fighting the same way, which is you get a bunch of guys together and they cover each other's with shields and with their with their pole arms. You know, the Romans favored swords, but they did use those 2 javelins. Those are pole arms.
Yes.
But the unit that's really heavy infantry in Age of Empires is crossbows.
Yeah, it's true.
Like that's the real heavy infantry of the game, because the impact of having 5 men-at-arms versus 10 men-at-arms is not nearly as radical as the difference between having 5 crossbows versus 10 crossbows.
100%.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of going with this. Is like the infantry in this game, I don't know what they're modeling. Your crossbows are your actual heavy infantry, and I guess actually to a certain extent, I guess the infantry in this game kind of model like your specialist units.
Yeah. Oh, and a fun thing, a fun detail about what you're just talking about. People are talking about the new expansion for Age of Empires, and there's a
I'm
new...
excited for it.
Yeah, I'm also excited. There's a new tech tree for it, and there's a unit called a hoplite, which functions as heavy infantry. And one of the ways they try to model exactly what you were saying is that hoplites get +1 melee armor for each adjacent hoplite.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that they should do, I think that this is like one of the things that drives me a little bit mad in Age of Empires. I don't want to sound like I'm a hater.
No, I don't.
I'm trying to do thoughtful critique here. I'm not trying to just be a hater. I know that if I was on Reddit, people would be like, you're just a hater. Like, no, I'm not. I'm clearly, I don't think I am at all. But one of those things that kind of, that does drive me a little bit nuts is how often they implement a mechanic that I think should be broad throughout the game, but then it's limited to only a couple of civs.
Yes.
And the one I'm thinking about specifically right now is melee units that have range.
Oh yes, like the
Kamayuks are how heavy infantry should work by default.
Yeah.
Like that's how all the spearmen in the game should be like. It's like Kamayuks. That's how heavy infantry are, is that they can reach and help each other fight like that. But obviously they don't like have that broadly implemented, because that's something they added like 10 plus 15 years after the game came out. And yeah, like Monaspa have that like formation fighting bonus.
Yes.
There's a couple mechanics like that. Bohemians are the only people who have the shield wall effect.
Yes, with
and
the Hussite
it's just
wagons.
Dravidians and Armenians who have armor penetration.
Dravidians and Armenians, I think. Oh, and the ladies with the Lithuanians ignore armor.
Oh yeah, the Lithuanians. Yeah.
Oh, and there's also Poles. The Obuch removes 1 armor per each attack.
Yeah, it's another unique mechanic. Obuchs remove armor, and these are mechanics that like I kind of wish were like on generic units.
Yes. No, I agree.
On generic.
It's I never thought about it until you mentioned it, but for the all pikeman units working as a Kamayuk, that would have been so interesting.
Yeah, I think they should. Let's do it. Let's do it. And anyway, it's just it does lead to this kind of interesting thing, right? Where anyway, we can talk about this more later. I've got lots of history rants about this game. I think that's, but I just think it's kind of interesting that like in terms of your, like you made the choice that is was very much the right one, which was he breaks into your eco with cavalry, and so he can do some amount of damage. The reality is that your army is way stronger, and you are at his base, and there was just no better alternative for you than to break into his eco.
Exactly,
and his best move was to keep fighting in your eco, and I think probably his best move would have been to relocate his economy.
Yes, I agree.
Because, like, one of those things that's like a funny thing here is like because he's got a nearly complete wall in, he busts down that one of those houses on the left, sends his entire economy on the other side of it, rebuilds the wall.
Yeah.
It's gonna take you eternity to figure out what the fuck just happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. and
he can keep on mining the gold while that's happening, because it's gonna take you eternity to get across this town center and the tower. Like he just has to give up his farms.
Yeah.
You give up your farms and your woodland. Who gives a shit? Like,
yeah, true. No, I agree. That's the best.
Who gives a shit?
And he can also get gold here, and these villagers
they can build a lumber camp right there. Yeah, well, lumber problem solved. Build another town center somewhere on the left side of the map, and stream boyars into your back line. Like, and it's a base trade, and he's got the mobility, and he's got the wall in actually really helps him there. Because again, like, you're going to be like, where the fuck is he?
Yeah.
And you're on archers. You have to shoot your way out of this now.
Yeah, and I have no siege, no anything. It's just archers, so it's...
Yeah. You're on non-Saracen archers, and like, okay, cool. Now you have to shoot down a town center with archers.
Yeah, no.
Cool. He had a couple of better plays. I mean, I do think it was probably GG when he came back into his base and just got vaporized. But like, if he had just used his old base as a time-wasting measure for him to build up a cavalry death ball in your eco, I think he could have won.
Yeah, and you're talking... That's one thing I feel like it's a huge difference between high elo players and lower elo players. High elo players give up positions all the time. It's one of the most important... Yeah, it's one of the most important strategic things. It's falling back. And you see the Viper play, there was a match between Viper and... Leary, match number 7 on Red Bull Wololo. Viper was completely losing everything, the main battle, and he just snuck some villagers, started adding castles, started flanking from the other side, and completely flipped the game around. And he gave up a lot of position to achieve that.
I watched a match recently between that wasn't part of the. I haven't watched like any of the tournament games from Red Bull because I'm always behind. I'm always so slow.
Yeah.
I watched one between Phosphru and Huang, and for people who aren't like aware of like meta or anything like that, Phosphru and Huang are probably the two most annoying players in the history of the game. Phosphru, like I really don't think anybody is considered more annoying than Phosphru. There might be some people who are considered ruder or more obnoxious, but Phosphor is incredibly fucking annoying.
Yes.
And that's like, and like Huang is like the next most annoying, and that was like when T90 was like I talked to Huang about Phosphor, and he like all he said was lol, he's annoying.
Yes.
Because Phosphor's whole thing is he goes up to castle really fast, drops a castle on his opponent's doorstep, and then just builds unique units.
Yeah.
And he stops building villagers at like villager 22. He's playing so weird and so obnoxiously. And Huang's also being very obnoxious because his specialty is like doing Celt Siege stuff. They're both very annoying players.
Yeah.
And they both fully traded bases during this match. Like Phosphor builds a castle right on top of Huang's wood line, and so Huang has to like give up his main base as retreating from it slowly. And Phosphor sees a forward siege workshop from Huang, and he just leaves. Like, he doesn't even get attacked, and he's already gone. he just walks his entire village. He's just like instantaneously, as soon as he realizes what's going on, like he's just done. He's just like he's like, I'm out of here. All I need is gold and wood for the rest of the game, so I just build lumber camps. I just need to build a market and some lumber camps and a gold mine, and that's all I need for the entire game. Like, and it's a huge difference, right? It's a huge difference between stronger and weaker players. Is that because, like, you know, I play with my brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty weak. Mostly because I'm really bad in Castle Age, and I just fold very easily in Castle Pressure. So if I don't win in Feudal, I tend to lose. But like my brother, you know, we're just playing against AI, just doing some casual stuff. The AI gets into his economy, and they're chopping down his villagers around his farms. And he's like, I'm done, I'm screwed. I'm like, no, we can come back from this. And it was very recoverable. It was very recoverable. It was very, very recoverable. It was, you know, send however many villages you can out the back door.
Yeah.
Send them to my base. I will send whatever army I can to try to cut off their reinforcements and whittle them down. Like, this is winnable.
Yeah, especially in team games, it's a lot. There's a lot more comeback mechanics for team games than there is for 1v1.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing about comeback mechanics, right, is like comeback mechanics are an interesting thing in strategy games in general, right? Because like kind of what stands out about a strategy game is that everything you do is everything that you make that is a good move makes your victory more likely.
Yes.
Long term. It's not like a fighting game, right? Where like in a fighting game you can have comeback mechanics because the first punch is the same as the last punch.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like getting a punch in the first 5 seconds makes every subsequent punch you ever do hit harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of like the whole conceit of particularly of RTSs. Like, it's kind of the whole conceit of strategy games is like your first pawn move is supposed to make every subsequent pawn move better. And that means that, like, if you take that design principle seriously and you don't think about the fact that it's extremely unfun, you have games that are decided really in the first 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, like whoever does a smooth... Like, if this game were more punishing and stupid, we could have made the argument that he lost the game as soon as he let those two goats go.
Yeah.
But the game isn't that bad. If the game was really bad, it would be like that. But that was like a blunder on his part, and it cost him. It didn't cost him the game, probably. I can see other moves that he did that I think cost him the game. But yeah, like that's kind of the thing. Like and particularly for Archer players, right?
Yeah, Archer players are about snowballing.
Archer players are very much about snowballing, and you know, he did not do. It's interesting that he did not go for the move that would have been the most direct way of dealing with you.
Yeah.
Which was Siege.
Yes.
Like, I think the better move was to do the Zeuschenzug, to do the intermediate attack, and keep pressure up on your economy, because your strength is in the snowball, and the value of having 25 crossbowmen declines over the course of the game.
Yeah.
You know, the value of this death ball is going to go down and down and down the longer he can drag things out, and that gives him more and more opportunities to come back. And he should have been going after your eco, going after your production, and just making things annoying for you. He should have been doing delays and keeping his army away from your army, until his army is like way stronger than yours.
Yeah.
The other alternative, if he wants to just fucking kill your army, would have been to go Siege.
Yeah, exactly.
And he split the difference. He attacked your army, but with cavalry. He should have attacked your econ with cavalry or attacked your army with siege, and he split the difference and was lost.
Yeah, that's the thing I also comment a lot in Low Elos, is that, for example, he could have gone for elite skirms. He could have... His strategy was way too spread out. While, since I was commanding the game, I picked the strategy and stuck with it. He's way too spread out. He invested some into light cavs, some knights, invested into skirmishers. Yeah, I agree.
Skirms was the one that like really stood out to me. It's like, this was a mistake.
I think the skirms, if you go skirms, it should have been 2 archery ranges and then focus on elite skirms. I feel like if you go skirms, go skirms.
That fucking archery range?
Siege workshops. What? A market. Oh, yes.
A market would have been a good move. Siege workshop also would have been a good move because he was generally food starved.
Yeah.
Food was his main eco problem. He generally had too much wood, if anything, and wood and he could have siege or a market to rebalance his eco would have both been good moves. The archer range, I think, was just a blunder.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, this was a pretty good one to watch. I think. I'm going to take it for granted that you play enough games that 1400 is a relatively reasonable expression of your elo.
It's funny because I dropped to 1100 like a month ago.
Okay.
And now I'm back at 1400 and I feel like if you give me a week or two, I'm going to be 1500.
Okay.
I feel like I'm playing super well right now.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, like, I was gonna kind of point this out for the viewers at home as kind of where I was going with this. That I'm kind of taking it for granted that you're not like, this is not a case of like Nando is just radically better than Orton.
Yes.
Like, I think Orton made mistakes, but like I said, I think he was close to making things really rough for you at a couple of points.
Yes.
And then he made a couple of bad calls. Some of those bad calls were tactical, some of them were operational. His bad call operationally would be like not towering up the mines fast enough and going for the archery range. Those were really bad.
Yeah.
His bad tactical mistake was not. I think it was actually even more in operations. Was not keeping pressing on your eco, and the big bad tactical mistake was engaging a really bad engage.
Yeah, I even had the uphill for a lot of that engage, so
yeah,
it was a really bad fight to take.
It was a really bad fight, and he really didn't fucking need to take it at all. He just didn't even need to take it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you were using archers to shoot down a mill.
Yes!
Like, your options were like you're about to go into like his wood line and his stone mine, but like he can relocate those to the gold mine and the other part of the wood line and the farms on the opposite side of the town center, and then you're really struggling to get good damage in.
Yeah,
right? Like he can cover his wall-ins are strong enough that he could make it really difficult for you to get things done without engaging the towers and the TCs, which are not good for you. He has a lot of time. He has a lot of breathing room, and then he just gave it up.
Yeah, and even though I'd kill, he's just 10 villagers behind. Even after all of this, I mean, it's completely recoverable, but not without the army and everything. Yeah,
and he could have, and again, like that villager thing, he could have forced it to go the other way quite quickly.
Yeah,
because your ability to kill his villagers was more limited than his ability to kill your villagers, circa 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
like, circa between up until about 2 minutes before he calls the GG, he had a better opportunity to start taking your village.
If you compare our bases, I have a hole in the wall. I have exposed wood line, exposed stone, exposed gold, exposed wood line. My base is everything is exposed compared to his.
Yeah, and well, this is where I was going with all this is, but you are the one with your primary operational mid goal where you want it. You have an intact 20 archer death ball at his base. So even though cavalry has generally the better initiative because of the nature of move speed, you are the one with the actual initiative here.
Yeah.
Which means that, like, if you're not as likely to get punished for making a lot of mistakes. And you are also less likely to make mistakes, because we can kind of see that he's flailing.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Right, like, he's flailing. Like, he again, as we've said, like, a million times, he should have built that watchtower further forward on top of the hill before he built the gold mine.
Yeah. And he knew. I mean, I'm playing Ethiopian. Sorry, my throat is a bit...
Okay, so you're telling me to take over more of the yapping.
Yeah.
He knows that your Ethiopians is going to take you an eternity to kill it, to the point where it's not even worth it for you to engage. Like, even with the worst location, you don't bother trying to deal with this gold mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Even with it being in the worst location, it's not even worth it. And all that happened by him doing this is he lost a bunch of villagers while he was building the watchtower. And again, this is not a result of him being a fundamentally worse player, because I think it's reasonable to say that he's about the same level as you. But you got the initiative early on. Like, he hits you first, you clear his army, his rush really cleanly, and then you're knocking on his door for the rest of the game, and he is flailing from that point forward.
Yeah, exactly. Also, some small things like me laming some sheep and everything, that starts also snowballing mentally.
Yeah,
and you start,
exactly.
You start beating yourself up. Oh, why didn't I build a tower there? Why am I losing villagers here? And the mental damage is actually even bigger than the...
Yep. This is like we alluded to at the beginning. This is why I do my boar lure super early.
Yeah.
Because if I lose one of my boars, I'm losing my fucking mind for the entire game.
Yes.
That's like a snowballing negative buff on me. That's like a permanent debuff on me for the rest of the game.
Oh, and one thing I wanted to comment about, then I forgot in the meantime, when you were talking about players like Huang and Phosphor, an amazing thing about those players is that I'm casting some tournaments and everything. There's a player called Jaloping Chris. He's a little bit above my elo, 1500, and he's like Red Phosphor and Huang. I've never seen him get a single eco upgrade in a game. He just goes just goes all in aggression, whatever it is, it will happen. Drop siege, drop scuds, and I like that because
I'm such an aggressive player these days compared to what I used to be. But even then, I still like feel physical pain if I start building farms without horse collar.
Yes,
I still like feel physical pain from it. And a few games that I've lost, it's like, why did I lose? It's like, oh, because I started farming without horse collar, and like my entire ability to balance my wood economy was ruined for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but
I was completely wrong.
Yeah, but I think that makes the game amazing for me as a caster is also because we see that diversity, and if all lower elo players are like, oh, Hera is dominating, we all need to play like Hera, and I'm one who tries to play like Hera. I mean, Hera is more of a scout player, but he's very mad, and I'm also mad. I follow his build orders. But if every single player was like, okay, Hera is #1, we need to be like Hera, the meta would have been so still and boring. I like that we have these different people, and people are like, oh no, I'm a white phosphor kind of player. I'm this kind of player. And we do see, I just won a tournament. It was a wonky tournament. It was tiny maps. And
I love the tiny map games.
Yes.
I would never want to play them, but I love watching them.
And like, I won that tournament. I won almost every single map. I just lost one, and it was all full monk play. I was a clown.
That's obnoxious.
Yeah, people. There's a player better than me, Maxi. He played against me, and he was like, he played against me in the finals, and he didn't research me. And during the match, it was being casted. He was asking, "You are going monks?" ? And the casters are like, I saw the cast losing their mind, like, yeah, of course Nando is going monks. It's the only thing he's doing in the entire tournament. Did you do no research? And I was a full clown that tournament, and I won with all monk play.
That's so obnoxious. Because I watched the T90's T90 did a series. Sorry, we're being huge nerds here. Yeah. T90, the main caster. It's sorry, Nando. He's the main guy. He's the main AOE caster. He did a tournament series, an exhibition match series, where there's a pair of twin brothers who are like 2,000 elo.
Nasty James and Emu Warrior. Yes.
Yeah, Emu Warrior. Yeah, they're twin brothers, and they did a 9-round of matches on the tiniest maps. Like, they're so small. Like, they are like town centers nearly overlapping small level maps. And these maps like never got above like 30 population in the entire series. Most matches involve vill warring.
And that matchup that you watched, that show match, was the build-up for the tournament, because it was a T90.
Makes sense. I knew they were related.
Yeah, it was a T90 hosted community tournament, and I casted a lot of matches of the tournament. One of the matches in the tiny maps that I casted was 76 minutes long.
No.
Yes.
That's like running out of wood. No.
Yes, it was so bad. and the thing is, it was a super interesting match. People were like, we need to submit it to T90, and I'm like, try, but T90 doesn't like to submit long matches. Then there was a 5-minute match that I also casted. And of course, one of T90's mods was watching the stream. He submitted it to T90, and I think it came out like 1 or 2 days ago, the 5-minute match.
I must apologize because I need to take a quick bathroom.
Oh, I also need to do it. I was about, yeah. I have a great be right back screen, so
okay, excellent.
Be right back.
We'll be back in just a few moments.
Yeah, yes. And hello everyone, we are back from our small break, and
Yes.
if you agree with me, Almantas, we were just chatting a little bit. Let's go over to the next match.
Let's go over to the next match. I'm going to I'm gonna say not Arabia, just because I don't even hate Arabia. But it's just like the nerd map, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm the nerd. This is the nerd map, yes.
I actually like Arabia. Hold on. What's the elo on this one right now? Okay. Oh, do we want to do a different? Because like enclosed and Tatars versus Franks, interesting.
Okay, okay.
That's interesting to me, but it is similar elo. I don't know if I want to go like high elo or low elo or something like that. How long is it?
This is 40 minutes long. And
It's not bad.
Age of Empires time. You want to go over
Yeah.
this one? The Rolling
Let's do it.
Stone
Let's do it.
versus
So it's Rolling Stone versus African.
Francisco Sa.
Francisco. Okay, I was misreading that. I was like, something wrong with my brain.
It's
here.
probably I think I was checking the leaderboard of Portuguese players. This is probably one of them.
Oh.
So this is a very Portuguese name.
I guess I don't think I have dyslexia, but I was like trying to read that as like African something.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to start the match, and yeah, something very different now. I love enclosed.
I like enclosed. I've come to like enclosed quite a bit. I've almost only ever played on 2v2, so like I saw this and I'm just like instantly claustrophobic.
Yes. The distance is so tiny.
It's just so tiny. I didn't even know that you could get a spawn like this. I thought you were like basically always like 180 degrees.
Oh no, a lot of maps have different gens, different spawn types, and this is one of them, and they are so close to each other. Where's that?
So, you know, filling in players a little bit on some of the nerd knowledge here. One, enclosed is really funny because there's that sort of gray rock you can't build on.
Yeah.
You cannot build on it, so it makes walling really awkward. And there's never, I think it's a hard rule. There's never gold or stone inside the ring.
Yeah, I think it's hard coded into the game.
I think it's hard code. So you can pretty safely do all of your farming and wood cutting inside a wall in. But then for everything else, you have to go outside.
Yeah.
You could trash war indefinitely from your starting base, but that's not generally considered a great idea.
Yeah, Byzantines, baby.
Byzantines, baby. I don't know if they have a particularly good win rate on this one. Yeah, we're speeding up because it's Dark Age. We know what
yeah, we know how Dark Ages go.
Tatars, I think, are pretty low rank, and I think they're considered the worst of the steppe civs. But I actually rather like Tatars.
Yeah, I
think
like Tatars are actually quite good right now. And they are Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I've got AOE stats open right now.
Okay. No, because I think Tatars, we saw them a lot in Red Bull Volo. In hilly maps with the heal bonus, the eco bonus, they can go for Archer into Cav Archer or Scouts into Cav Archer. That's more the common play.
They are 41. Ranked 41 out of 45.
Okay, I did not have those stats. Okay.
Yeah, and that is after they got they bumped up 3 spots from the most recent patch. Yeah, they're only ahead of Vietnam, Aztecs, and Britons on the overall ladder, on all rank, all map ladder. I'll be honest. What is actually? I'm kind of interested. What do you think is the thing I really like about Tatars?
The thing you really like about Tatars?
Yeah. What's something I find really compelling about playing Tatars?
The extra food from the buffaloes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Especially because it means you can scout with them more. Yeah. That's the big thing. Is like you can delay because like there's a stage of the game where like you just take all of your herdables and you just throw them at your town center. Because like they're gonna get caught by the enemy scout and like you're gonna run out and like you just need to get them moved in there. You can stall on that a little bit further with Tatars, and I like that. I genuinely really like it. It feels really smooth to me to do like substantially more scouting with the herdables.
I'm glad you talked about that because remember when we were talking about scouting with the second animal? The reason why I never do that is because I'm a Britons main, and Britons are the opposite. Britons have a hard, I'm thinking that's why I have it hard-coded into me, because if you do that as the Britons, it will backfire.
Britons are like my second least favorite.
I think people who like playing with Britons are a very small minority.
Okay, I don't know that they're a very small minority. They're popular. They are popular. I don't know if they're popular among like competitive players, but among people who don't play the game a ton, they're really popular. I mean, I've got AOE stats open right now in another tab because I'm a nerd and I love the numbers. They're bottom. They are the bottom, and they've been the bottom. Ooh, killing the boar.
Yeah, 2 boars here, lame.
Yeah, that's impressive laming. But they're like one of the most popular. They're number 45 on win rate, and they're number 6 on play rate.
Damn. So
yeah. Let me take a look at their win rate by, and their win rate by rating goes up with rank. Oh, so it's a lot of people who are playing them and are really bad at them in the low ranks. Yes. There's a lot of people who are tanking their elo by playing Britons.
Good. Yes, tank the stats so I can pick Britons more often.
Because Britons are really funny, right? Because they're a very one-dimensional civ. Arguably the one-dimensional civ.
Yeah, I think they're the most.
France.
Yeah, I agree. the most one-dimensional Civ in the game, in my opinion.
Which this is the little spoiler alert for the people at home. I hate playing one-dimensional Civs.
Oh, okay.
I like doing mix-up games. I used to really like playing China.
Oh yeah, China is a really strong
good
Civ.
mix-up
It's hard, but strong.
Yeah. Well, I used to practice the China opening a lot. I really like Civs that have like big mix-up games. I like Mali a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For example, that's another good mix-up Civ. I'm kind of trying to figure out who I really want to like focus on as my main, but it's like I'm kind of trending towards Burgundy.
Ooh, that's a peculiar one.
It is. I think the Castilian micro is really satisfying to me.
Oh yes.
like if other things in the game had the Castilier rule, which I think Step Lancers should have that instead of what they actually have. I think I'd be more Lancerly, but it's that, and I've gotten more into cav play, but I also really like having bombard cannons.
Oh,
I don't like punching down castles with trebuchets at all.
okay.
It's the main thing that stops me from like really wanting to be a Tatars player.
Yeah, and I play Britons. I don't have bombard cannons.
No, you don't.
I have nothing. I have archers that fire from miles away, and that's it. Oh, it is some quick.
Well,
wall?
I mean, it's good quick wall.
Yeah, and this is lower than my elo, so.
I'm so bad at quick wall. Definitely. I do not think it is the thing that is stopping me from being a better player. I am like 100% confident that the thing is. Whoa!
The attempt was there. And
wow. Okay, Rolling Stone got lamed really hard, but is responding really well.
yeah,
This is really good defense. This is really good defense.
And by the way, if Hera or someone at the same level was coaching me and saw me do that, they would say, "What are you doing? Never quick wall." Pro players are very much against quick walling at lower elos.
Yeah.
And
well,
even
it's like a turbo nerd thing. It's like it's rarely the best thing for you to be doing with your APM.
and I say low elo if I saw Viper versus Hera finals in Red Bull Wololo. Viper did so many amazing quick walls, and Hera did almost no quick walls, and Hera is the best player.
Viper's brand.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the quick wall.
And the crowd cheering every single time Viper did a quick wall. But Hera proves that, yeah, even at high elos, that's not the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. Daniel asked what we're casting today.
Oh, a little bit of everything.
We're a little bit of everything. So, yeah, just fill in anybody else who's come in here. Nando is an actual caster of AOE. I am just an old guy who happens to play Age of Empires sometimes. I mostly actually do calligraphy, and so I'm just joining because I like yapping, and I think these are kind of fun to watch and look at. I am, as mentioned, I'm a much worse player. I'm like 700 elo. Nando's about 1400. So these are kind of interesting for me to watch. I know that like usually people prefer watching either really low or really high. Mostly really high, and then they like watching really low to like see the contrast. I kind of like looking at these players who are good and clearly spending a lot of time playing the game and perfecting themselves, but haven't really had whatever psychological breakthrough it is that allows you to like get to like the 1900 plus levels.
I'm very surprised to see Franks getting fletching and skirms here, going a bit into the game.
I suspect that... So, Francisco, I'm guessing, is making a gamble that I don't think is unjustified, but I'm not sure I'm into. That Rolling Stone is going to go really hard into Hun Warring.
Yes.
I think he's suspecting he's going to see a lot of Hun War, and I don't know if it's because of Elo or because of lack of this particular form of knowledge, but Hun Warring, the better unit would have been Scorpions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the single Scorpion just ruin it. However, Scorpions are not good for helping keep pressure on the opposing base, which it appears to be Francisco's real plan, right? Is to just keep Rolling Stone off of gold.
Yeah.
Which he's doing a great job at. He is strangling Rolling Stone right now. Um, I am kind of curious about the fact that Francisco is going pure trash.
Yeah, and not a
No gold.
Yeah, not a very good. Drop a market and use it to to click up to castle. I feel like the castle age timing now. Rolling Stone might go for some knights or step lancers. Can throw Francisco off guard.
I think Step Lancers would be ruinous for Francisco right now. I think 5 Step Lancers would ruin his day.
Yeah.
I think it would swap the initiative around completely. And I think that's what he's going for because he just got Bloodlines.
Yeah.
Does he have Market?
Yeah, he has a market here.
Okay, yes. So the Central Asian architecture kind of blurs together.
Yeah.
It's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit hard to read. And also this is going to be the thing that's. I have the worst behavior according to the AOE subreddit of all possible players. I like the ANHK mods.
Yeah. Which ones are those? The
I've got like Cube Forest on.
Oh yeah, the cube mods. Yes.
I like the cubes. I think they're cute. They're cute.
I mean, there are pro players who play.
Oh,
with...
this is a mistake by Rolling Stone here. Oof.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And these are they have armor and everything. If they didn't have any upgrades, the villagers could take the fight. But
well, and also just like his army went the other way. Like his army.
Yeah,
his army was out of position when he went forward. That was a very greedy play. I understand why he went for it. If the timing was better, it probably would have gone really well. Like Rolling Stone's plan, a wise plan for Rolling Stone would be get over to Francisco's economy, force him to pull back his army, and then that gives you the breathing room to build the forward TC. He needs that forward TC. He is starving without it.
I think also Rolling Stone sometimes he should commit more to fights. I think he's trying to be a little bit too.
Well, he did commit there, and he even brought in the villagers into the fight, which was the right move.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're both on castle, and it looks like Rolling Stone has kind of made a choice that neither of us was expecting. We were both kind of expecting Step Lancer. Rolling Stone selling for gold. Good to sell that stone. Like he's not going to get out another TC.
Yeah.
On a timely fashion. Like fuck it. Like you're not getting out a triple TC under this kind of practice. Oh, never mind. I'm just wrong. Oh my goodness, eating my words here. Oh my goodness.
As a caster, that happens all the time. Not to worry.
Oh, embarrassing. See, when my first experience streaming was I did some casts like a decade plus ago, like a long time ago of War Game Airland Battle, and how I did it was I watched the game twice before I casted it, and I took notes. I had like multiple pages of notes per game I casted.
Damn.
Town Bell. I don't even have a hotkey for that one.
Yeah. Oh, we see
Camels, good choice. Okay, yeah, he's missed the timing window on the Step Lancers being super strong, so Camels is a good choice.
Yeah, to deal with that. Yeah, the Franks are not as one-dimensional as the Britons, but they are pretty one-dimensional. And Monks is a good play.
Monks is a good play. Well, I mean, the real way that Francisco, the big way that Francisco is an asshole here. Well, actually, this is really good. This is a really good move right now.
Yeah.
He should have built that. He should have put the monastery behind the walls.
Yeah, in a safer place.
Yeah. But Camels is a really good play into this.
But I feel
I'm actually less sold on the monks right now because
there's already scouts on the field.
There's already scouts on the field. There's almost certainly a Mangonel coming out.
Yeah, and you have no redemption as the Tatars, I just checked, so
yeah,
your monks will be useless against siege. But
yeah, this is the camel. Just going harder into camels is the choice, I think.
Yeah, and the thing is, 3 TCs is very greedy. This will pay off in the end, but right now this is just hurting his military production. So this
this is very spicy right now.
Yeah, this is Francisco's
farmers and he's still struggling.
Yeah, this is Francisco's time to strike.
Yeah, because this is not. This is a dubious number of camels, but like even two or three more camels, and this is a brutal fight. Oh, still getting the pick off.
Yeah. The monk was...
Oh, interesting choice. Interesting choice. Yeah, that.
Oh, that was nice.
That was very good. That was a very good conversion. Okay. That said, I think that the better move, honestly, was get the Onager pick and just pull back.
Yeah, I agree. You need to start messing up. And now, leave some guarding the Onager, or going for the heal, and...
The Onager, I think, was also a mistake. Oh, I do not like that Onager.
Oof.
I do not like... partially because I just fucking... I just despise Mangonel
Yeah.
in general, the unit. But also, I think it's a bad... The defense of Mangonel is in general something I kind of find a little bit questionable. That's a lot of gold that could have gone into camels, is really the end of it. That's a lot of camel gold.
And
of course, yeah.
It's funny you say despise the Mangonel. I'm also not a huge fan. And recently we had Age of Mythology coming out, and and I was getting frustrated while playing the game. And I mean, I like the game, but it's Age of Empires is much more my cup of tea in gameplay terms. And I had this epiphany while playing, and I was like, 90% of the units are Mangonels.
Oh, interesting.
They are like mythic units are like melee Mangonels, then you have ranged Mangonels. Everything is AOE and army melting. And I was getting so frustrated at that. I was like, no, yeah, this is why. I
never quite had that feeling, because I feel like the Mangonel in this game is... there are a couple of other games that have had units like it. Bad choice, bro. Yep. But I think in general within the Age of Empires series, I actually think the Age of Empires 2 Mangonel is kind of unique. I want to be cheering for the Tatar player just because I like Tatars, but he's making bad engage choices. Oh, he's committing when he shouldn't commit and not committing when he should.
Still,
it's painful.
They are maintaining the status quo. It's not going back or forth, and that favors the more economic-oriented player. That favors the greed. Status quo is better for the player with 3 TCs. Okay, now both of them will be on 3 TCs, so...
I kind of don't like how in this software they do the banners in reversing in like order relative to the center.
Oh.
I kind of like the center banner, right, where it's like it's got population, it's got eco damage, it's got military population, and so on. I just wish it was in the same order across both sides. Whereas like here, it's like you can see like the military population is the closest to the center, and then outwards is you know, you see what I'm talking about? Yeah, I wish that it was just the same order on both sides. But that's just me. That's just like
yeah, I see. Now I see, because they went for symmetry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they went for flipping symmetry rather than just rather than like a repeated table.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So yeah, we see Rolling Stone is like, good gravy, 40 wood choppers. Good lord, man.
And his transition. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Yeah. And his transition.
And frankly, African Francisco knew it was coming, but he got the timing wrong. He thought he was gonna go straight into Cav Archers on Castle Up.
Yeah, and he's thinking about the camels still, so he went for the counter to the camels. He's adding a lot of pikes, and that's not good against the CA.
This is gonna be rough. This is gonna be a rough one.
This is a bit.
Yeah, it's a.
That's a lower elo mango right there. I mean,
yeah,
it survived.
Amazing that it survived. It's gonna get the repair off.
Oh, this is greed.
This is greed. Yeah, this is.
And the mango right here.
The mango right there is really funny. It's just like contextually very funny. 3 villager. Okay, that's a Francisco. Oh wait, no, there's more.
Oh.
6 is more reason.
Okay, and both mangoes go
Mango
down.
trade.
Yeah, this castle will go up.
This is gonna go up, yeah. Unfavorable. That was an unfavorable trade for Rolling Stone. And now we're gonna see these. We're gonna see no ballistics.
Yeah, no ballistics. I was about to say it. With CA, you can tell right away.
It's
the micro.
And the monk got grouped in.
Oh, this is not I think he'll win the Nida castle, but he's paying such a huge price for it.
Yeah, it's such an expensive deny. And weirdly, I think a lot of what is has been costing Rolling Stone here is just like his marshalling points, like where he leaves his army when it's idle is too spread out.
Yeah,
it's like a very funny thing to have as like a problem like this, but I think it's adding up.
Yeah, it snowballs. Yeah, here the army was way out of position, and so that's why he had to.
Like if his armies were closer consolidated, right? He could have. Like there was that mango trade, but he could have done that mango trade with a camel, and then he would have had a mangonel shooting into the castle while it's being built, and that would have been fine.
Yeah, and now,
right?
Yeah, now he's in a horrible position.
Oh, he's got a couple of things going for him, but he's only up 10 pop.
Yeah, and Francisco is on the way to Imp, and
ooh, I don't like for Stone. Yeah,
and that's what you want to do when the as the Franks, you start getting to Paladins, you get comfortable, you can start getting a lot of castles. Francisco will start getting to a great position. Oh! Both of them are going for petards against the other castle.
Cute.
Oh, this is not the play here.
Not the play, my dude. I'm feeling even more sympathy for Rolling Stone because these are the kind of things like are how I lose games.
Yeah, that's the good thing about casting all the different helos. Oh. The Rams here are a very good play. Adding Rams to help destroy this castle first.
Mm-hmm. And one of these people has stone and the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
And also the yeah, that's the right move, using the petards to.
Oof.
What happened there? Oh, it's just like
yeah, the castle. Adding some cash.
Killed it.
Okay, petard pathing is going a bit wonky, but yeah, I really like Francisco's position right now.
It's and see, like I'm almost never a 3TC player. My norm of late has been honestly winning a lot on 1TC.
Yeah, I'm going more and more for 2TCs actually. I used to be either 1 or 3. Now I'm finding a lot of comfort in 2, and I don't know.
I tend to get kind of my second TC kind of late.
And GG was called here, and I think it is a good time to call the GG.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of ways that Rolling Stone could have done more things to recover from there, but I understand not wanting to bother.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I always comment when I'm casting different styles. It's one thing if it's a tournament game, it's another thing if you're just playing a ranked, and it's like, oh, take my points.
Yeah, because like
even the CA, it's one thing. This is, I think it was 1100 elo. The elos are not showing right now. The play here also was your opponent is trying to force a fight here. Take your CA if they're idle here. Go around, and all your opponent's economy was exposed.
Yeah, that's the thing about enclosed, right? Is like you're. It's really difficult to have a decently wall economy. If anything, Rolling Stone has a huge. Is like this is about as good as you can ever wall in an economy on Rolling Stone's side.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone is like not totally immune to getting raided, but he's like on the scale of how immune you can even possibly be to raiding on enclosed. He's pretty high up there. That exterior wall on the third TC is very good. Whereas Francisco is playing a much more normal way of playing, and yeah, you can just take a look at his eco.
Yeah.
Right, like it's that gold mine is just there. Right?
Yeah.
The gold mine is just there. That's 24 gold miners. If you send in, let's go with 10 step lancers.
Yeah.
You're killing like 10 or 15 of those before he can even respond. And if you're aggressive and lucky, you might be able to take out the damn TC too. Like
yeah.
Like you got much better plays here than scraping for minor positional advantages on the front line.
Yes. No, I definitely it's we see that a lot in this elo. It's one player, oh, I'm the aggressor, you're the defender, and that's game. That's the game. And usually when you see, for example, higher elos, both players are fighting because, no, I want to be the aggressor. I won't let you want to pressure here, I'm going to pressure there. I won't just stay defensively. But I mean, that's easier said than done.
And dumb note. One of my few signs of being a better player, because I am a nerd about eco stuff. They haven't refreshed their wood camps.
Yes.
I'm like, look at this. I'm like, oof, oof, buddy.
Hera would not approve. This is the kind of
how do you lose that? How do you lose that many CA in that situation? Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
the battle here.
Yeah, Rolling Stone. I do wonder if Rolling Stone might not be super familiar with Tatars, because he's kind of just using his CA like they're like siege engineers, to be honest. like he's just kind of letting them stand and deliver a lot. Like that army. When the castles were going up and they had that battle, Rolling Stone should have won.
Yeah, 100%.
Rolling Stone absolutely should have won that battle, and he didn't. He extremely had the upper hand in terms of army comp, but he let the camels fight the pikes, which is an unforced error. He let them do it, and he didn't focus down the pikes with his cav archers.
Yeah, and
which is like
that's
the only two mistakes he could have made, and he made both of them.
Yeah, that's I usually say that. For example, militia get weaker the higher you get elo. CA, monks, and mangonels get stronger with elo. Mangonels, it's different because players that can...
Mangonels are weird.
Yeah, mangonels are... But CA and monks definitely get stronger with elo, and here we saw that...
Monks especially. Monks
yeah.
Especially. like the level of player that even... I think that even you're at, Nando. Like monks are dicey.
Yeah, 100%.
They're dicey in practice. I was playing around with them a bit because I like Bohemia conceptually. But I think I gotta follow my heart and go Burgundy or maybe even Tatars or Turks. Might be a Turks player in my heart. Living in denial for 25 years about being a Turks player. But it's yeah, like. That should have been a very winnable engagement, right? Because, like, everything Francisco has, other than the pikemen, cannot deal with camels.
Yeah, and also...
He's not building swordsmen, he's not building throwing axemen, it's just the pikemen, so the pikemen are the least able to choose what engagement they're in.
Yeah.
Out of everything on the board. So Rolling Stone very much has the ability to choose his engages and tear the pikemen apart. And then once the pikemen are torn apart, those camels get to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But I don't want to rag on him too much because he's a better player than me. He is a better player than me. And I think he made some very good moves here. I think he got away with being very greedy.
Yes.
He obviously didn't maximize it because, like, you know, take a look here. He's got 91 villagers and 1,700 free food.
Yeah. All of these invested.
Man, just pump yourself up to like 120 villagers.
Yeah.
Turn this into a trash war.
Add 2 more PCs, even buy stone, go full.
Yeah. Yeah, buy stone. You've turned it into a miserable goddamn trash war. You're gonna there's quite a few things going in Rolling Stone's favor in the longer term. Honestly, mostly just undone by bad micro.
Yeah, and also it was bad micro, and also we saw the lack of ballistics there on that engagement in particular.
Oh my goodness,
that was
painful.
That was
instantly cringed as soon as I saw that.
I recoiled from the pain.
Yeah, same. I'm on Fugi right now, but even if I had my model open, you would have like seen me like startle.
And Pygmy Giant, this was around 1100 elo.
Yeah,
1200.
It's above average. Yeah. These guys are above average players. It's just that we have the benefit of
Yeah, it's a lot easier to cast than it is to play. one of
It's certainly
the
easier to critique from casting.
one of the players I play with, Dizzy, I cast with a lot with Dizzy, and she has never played a ranked match, I think.
Interesting. Good for her.
So she loves Age of Empires, she loves casting, she loves playing the campaign, she loves playing for achievement hunting. She does not play ranked, and her game knowledge has all been developed from casting.
Interesting, because one of my streamer buddies, she doesn't cast Age of Empires, but she plays it a lot. It's like her main non-stream game, is low end, and she mostly does like 10x, like goofball mode.
Oh yes.
Mostly doing goofball mode, so I have to use the bathroom, and I am looking at our options here. I think we should do something that's not a traditional open map.
Okay.
We've got some arenas. We've got some mega randoms. I will go down and let people know that I don't think this should be too surprising based on other things I've said gameplay wise. I never play mega random. Instant ban for me.
Yeah.
Instant ban
Same.
for me. My strengths are all like being really good at the rote memorization of Dark Age Eco, and like everything else in the game is a weakness for me. So I never do mega random. Is that a hold on? There's an arena. There's a couple of arenas here that I'm looking at. This Mali arena, the 1200s. It's not a bad one. What's this Vietnam versus Cumans arena? That's a weird matchup.
Well, they are 700.
We got some low elos. I'll let you think about it. And nomads are also fun. I do like nomad a lot. Nomad's cool. Nomad's cool. But give me a moment. I need to.
Yeah. Go. I'll keep the stream live. Yes, I'll keep chat.
I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep chat entertained, and I'm going to take the opportunity to do a shout out to Almantas' socials. This is his YouTube link, and this is his Twitch stream. He's not fully dedicated to Age of Empires, just a fellow streamer who happens to really enjoy the game as well, and I'm a huge fan of his streams. He focuses a lot on chatting. If you go to one of his streams prepared for a good yapping session, he has a series going on Fridays that I'm a huge fan of. It's books that change your life. He has different guests, mostly VTubers, because he's a VTuber. He's not a cam streamer like myself. And on that stream, he invites different guests to talk about their favorite streams. It's kind of a lecture and chatting hybrid kind of stream. And he had 4 episodes already. Last one was about the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest written poem that we still have up to this date. And it was very entertaining. I'm always there in chat. And yes, Zerzon, he used to be mostly Twitch only. Now he's does a little bit of content on YouTube as well. Some streams are fully only on YouTube. And yeah, he did the Epic of Gilgamesh, Otaku Japan's Database Animals, yes, To Kill a Mockingbird, and the Stormlight Archive, which is my favorite book. So my favorite book series of all time. I'm sad that Palmet isn't here today, because Palmet's profile pictures are always from the Stormlight Archive. But yeah, Almantas, more dedicated to literature, former professor. He does a lot of calligraphy streams where he just writes and yaps. It's a chill place. So I'm there a lot of times. If you if you go there to his content, you'll probably see me in chat typing quite a bit. And yeah, if you are enjoying our session, leave a like and a subscribe on his pages. It's also a favor you are doing to myself. Okay, I went silent for a bit because is Almantas, has he arrived and is he listening to me selling his stuff?
Oh, righty, I am back.
Okay. I was doing some work of promoting your stuff, don't worry.
Okay, I'm glad I interrupted you before I put on my own headphones and didn't have to hear it. So, I'm kind of tempted by some of these arena or mega randoms. John Sloan Mega Random is an interesting one.
Yeah.
He's a closed map specialist, right?
Yeah, John Slow is a closed map specialist. Where is that? I know I have it.
I saw it. He was
Arena. No, this is the.
Oh, do we want to go? Do we want to go high or low? Do we want to go high or low, and do we want to go closed or mega random?
Oh, I I do this all the time, so I let you decide because
I mean, no. Which one do you think is going to be more fun to cast with me? This is I'm going on your expertise here.
okay. If we could go like for variety, let me see if I can find a higher arena. Not this one 2.5 hours.
I don't need to do a 2.5 hour one.
Yeah, no. Where
we did not set ourselves up for success doing that.
where was Jon Snow? Maybe it's here at the top.
Just pick a random. Yeah, I see it right there in the middle.
Jon Snow. Yeah, this is not Arabia. Oh, and Aztecs versus Assyrians. This can be interesting.
That's weird. Okay, I'm actually kind of into this.
Yeah, this is weird.
This is a weird matchup.
Yeah, let's go for this one, and then we decide. Of course, I know you are on limited time today. What is this?
I've got a little bit. I've got an hour and maybe a little bit of change. Okay, so this is Mega Random, which, as mentioned, I never play Mega Random, mostly because I hate Navy.
Yeah. Okay, we are exactly the same on that. I hate Navy.
Okay, so we're currently in the Dark Ages. I mean, Mega Random Dark Ages are certainly more interesting to talk about than Dark Ages on almost anything else. But I've noticed this thing about games in general, that they'll develop a pretty good land game, and then they'll be like, okay, how do we branch out? Let's add Navy. But the Navy is always treated as a sort of like perfunctory obligation, and they wind up creating something that's worse than if they hadn't done it in the first place. Yeah. Age of Empires is not the most extreme for this. I love the War Game series. A lot. And yeah, Pygmy is in the opposite case for me. Mega Random. I'm good on the build order. I'm terrible at everything else. Oh geez, yeah. I thought there was actually no stone here. I was looking at the chat. Yeah, the stones are pretty far out, but it's there. It's there. But yeah, a lot of War Game is one that was like extremely bad for this. War Game has this incredibly interesting system of tactics. It's a tactical strategy game. It's not really a strategy game. It's all tactics. And then they were actually in a pretty good position for doing Navy, because their whole system is built around line of sight.
Oh, yeah.
In War Game. I don't know if you've ever played it.
No, I never played it.
It's a Cold War tactical strategy game. Real-time tactics, and that's the word I was looking for. Real-time tactical game. And so, like, these are Cold War things. So oh my goodness, the deer lure with the villager.
We are watching High Elo now, so.
Oh my goodness, that's big brain. So like an anti-tank guided missile is devastating. Like, the game is not balanced around like a tank and an anti-tank guided missile launcher unit are shooting at each other repeatedly for several seconds. If the ATGM gets surprised, it's pretty much going to win every single time. So it's all about line of sight and cover and concealment.
Okay.
Which, like, given that modern naval warfare is very much about detection, like, do you even know that there's a submarine nearby? Is like the big thing. They're set up fairly well for that, but again, they did the same shit that they do in Age of Empires, where it's just a very boring rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Whereas the rock, paper, scissors on land in Age of Empires is incredibly messy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so messy. It's so freaking messy. It's so weird. I do think that, again, I'm tooting my horn here again on this one. I do think Rise of Nations did a better job than most strategy games, but that's mostly because the water triangle very parallels the land triangle in a way with like relatively similar commitment to thought, which is an improvement. Like, that's definitely an improvement. But that's like a minor improvement. Most games have terrible Navy, and it's actually the biggest reason why I'm excited about this new DLC.
Oh yes, the
biggest thing that excites me is that they're talking about like having 6 basic naval units. It's like, okay, no, this is, and like they're adding like ramming as like a major feature, because that was like one of the funniest things in the world to me in Age of Mythology was like, oh, we're gonna have melee ships, and it's a ship with like a construction crane on it. It just hits with a hammer. And yeah, but Bjorn, exactly, yeah, like the detection is really important. detection is really, really important. Go watch famous historical documentary Hunt for the Red October for more information. But yeah, it's the Navy in this game's bad.
Yeah,
Bluntly, it's a weakness of the game overall, and we're still in the Dark Age, so we're still just bullshitting it.
Yeah, no, yeah, but one thing about the Navy, there's a tournament that I'm part of casting and everything, and it's called the Specialists Cup. And the premise of that tournament is that there's 4 different map pools, and you only sign for the category you want to play. You have open land maps, closed maps, Navy, and hybrid.
Okay.
Each tournament has like 9 or 10 divisions. Water has 4. Almost no one signed up for water. So, and I would normally feel bad, but I really don't like water as well. So.
Like what? And the thing is, like, I kind of want to become a bit of a nerd about swamp maps.
Yeah, the hybrid maps, more of a hybrid.
Yeah, well, I mean, hybrid is a confusing term, so I'm trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
Sometimes people mean like Mediterranean.
Yes.
And I'm talking about like Golden Swamp.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about maps that, like, have water on them, like Base Nomad or Mediterranean. I'm talking, like, maps where you are putting demo ships in the opposing player's gold mines. Like that kind of shit. Like,
yes. And
that kind of shit where it's like knights fighting galleons.
Yeah, and that kind of map where there's, for example, I think about Cup from the Hidden Cup. There's one of them. That style of map that you're talking about is one of the most popular in high elo and everything. People love that. People don't like water, but when water meshes with land, somehow it suddenly works.
Well, I think it's because, well, I mean, I think it goes back to like the base sin of Navy in this game, which is you've got your range ship, your fire ship, and your demo ship.
Yeah.
And that's just fucking, it's just a boring set of matchups. Okay, so John Slow's going hard and fast.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing, it's funny because I've told you that I have very good memory for random things. And we talked about this Navy thing last time we streamed together. I remember it specifically. And I remember I was thinking about this, and I think one thing that makes Navy... I was thinking about all RTSs I play. And I found a pattern. I think most RTSs that have good Navy also have air units. Because air just ties everything together, because then you have one more element to the water. For example, I was thinking about Supreme Commander. I think it has Navy and it works. Empire Earth also has Navy, and I feel like Navy in Empire Earth is better than in Age of Empires. And I think it's the air.
Another one?
Yeah, Rise of Nations, exactly. I think...
Yeah, got the aircraft carriers,
Yeah, and that's what that hybrid tree, that swamps, makes it so that all units behave like air units, in a way. Because they are all on water and land at the same time.
Well, and I think, is he just chasing around this horse? Like, what is John Slow doing? I'm confused. But, yeah, when I think about, is the horse his?
Yeah, that's his horse, yes.
Okay, I was like, is he trying to kill this horse with some swordsman instead of, like, getting eco damage? Like, what's going on?
Players just
this
react
is this is very much a difference between higher and lower elo players. It's like, the high elo players can tell when they're just going to lose a fight, so they just, like, don't commit. So we've seen, like, so little actual fighting get done.
Yeah, it's just walking around, trying to find damage. Even this, it's like, oh, I could keep my army idle. This makes my opponent spend one, and it's better than doing nothing. And yeah, this is very common. Players at this elo, 11 military, 1-2 KD, 1-0 eco KD. But John Slow is being very aggressive.
Yeah, he's being super aggro. Which is interesting, because, like, Aztecs in the current environment are pretty controversial, and like, a lot of that controversy has been driven by a recent, very good Spirit of the Law video that has driven me mildly insane. Because, I was literally talking with my brother about this yesterday. Spirit of the Law put out a video about the Jaguar Warrior.
Yeah, they are trash.
The limitations of the Jaguar Warrior in the Aztec context.
Yeah.
And then the Reddit was blowing up with people being like, oh, we need to buff, like, Aztec pikemen. It's like, that's not what that video is about. Like, that video is about the fact that if you are already playing Aztecs, there are only rare circumstances where you're going to want to build a Jaguar warrior.
Yeah.
It's not the problem is not like the Aztecs in general, although that's another question to have. It's a worthwhile question to explore. But that video in specific was about comparing a Jaguar warrior to a longswords.
Yeah.
Was like they rarely is it much better. That was just kind of driving me nuts. John Wirtz points out that was a good war drain.
Yeah.
A good war drain. And yeah, Bjorn, I agree with you. Even AOE 1 had better navy than AOE 2. AOE 2's navy is a real weakness. But yeah, I think that that's like the fundamental reason why swamp maps feel cool and naval maps feel terrible. Is that, again, this fundamental sin of you only have 3 units. You know, there's a couple of unique units, but whatever. They don't actually change the calculus very much. Whereas, like, worrying about the matchup between, like, knights and galleons, or, like, skirmishers versus fire ships, which I'm pretty sure the fire ships are going to win pretty decisively, if I know right. If I know it right. Like, then all of a sudden you've got a really complicated calculus. And I think that's a lot of what has made AoE kind of compelling, is not even that it's like the best balance or otherwise best constructed, but that there's a lot of really awkward asymmetries.
Yes.
In the unit balance.
Yes, for sure.
I say this as a person who likes Age of Mythology and actually has a different viewpoint on it than you do. I still don't like how even the counter unit system in it is. And in particular, it's why I think I just don't like playing the Greeks in Age of Mythology at all. By far my least favorite.
I need to...
we've got the infantry that's good against cavalry, and then the cavalry that's good against archers.
Yeah, it's too much.
Shut up.
Like,
shut up.
every single...
No, give me the weird stuff that's going on with the Norse.
Yeah, every single strategy game is rock, paper, scissors, but it's like, how far do you take the rock, paper, scissors? It's... And I think Age of Empires does a good job. For example, the fact that do scouts win against archers? Well, depends on the number. That's basically the thing. And
I would say that in general that means that like it's all soft counters. In
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's very few like hard counters. It's generally pretty soft counters, and I think it's I have played Stronghold. I think Stronghold's great.
Yeah, I like Strong, and it has one of the most important things in the game for me, which is good and funny voice lines.
Oh, Nando, you've watched me play Majesty, right?
I've finished Majesty 3 or 4 times. It's one of my favorite games.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah, it has incredibly good voice lines.
Yes.
Amazing voice lines.
I'm melting. My power grows.
No, I'm melting is like one of those lines where you're just like,
I love playing mages, so it's the wizards, so it's the line so I heard the most in the game. Where's the gold?
I hate playing wizards. Oh my god.
Praise Taurus. Like, all Majesty's voice lines live rent-free in my brain at all times.
I'm just a gnome.
Yes!
This is my favorite one.
Leave my gold alone.
It's so good, but it's okay.
This was quite a tangent, but yes. Yeah, we see the transition into eagles to melt the... And Jon Snow is going full infantry, and that's not common.
No, it's not. It's not. Well, I mean, this is so you know, going back to like that Spirit of the Law thing. The part of the reason why it's a kind of interesting controversy around the Aztecs is that Aztecs have a terrible win rate and have had a terrible win rate for a while. But they're an Age of Conquerors civ, so they've got people who've been playing them for 20 years, and they were like an S tier civ for most of the game's history.
Yeah.
And if you talk to tournament players, if you talk to Hera or Viper, they rate the Aztecs really high.
Yes.
Like slam. Whenever I've seen Hera do a tier list, she slams Aztecs into S tier.
Yeah.
Like very little hesitation from him. And it's interesting because like in 1900 they have a terrible win rate. They're like one of the worst civs at 1900. But like somewhere between 1900 and 2100, Aztecs become incredibly good. And I'm really curious about it because I don't watch as much like pro stuff as I watch like you know, I watch like commentary and analysis. I don't watch as many like games casted, and I don't really watch tournaments. I'm really kind of curious about what it is because I look at Aztecs as you know, schlub, right? A schlubby 700 elo player, and nothing that I see looking at them makes them seem like they're hard to use as a player.
Yes. I think one of the reasons is this. We were just talking about how monks skill with elo.
Yeah, that might be the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think this is one of them.
The best monks in the game.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah, I think also it's just the fact that pro players are really good with meso sieves. Overall, all meso sieves are good. And a lot of pro players just play random, and if they get a meso sieve like... oh, that's another thing that comes into the stats. The higher elo players play random a lot more than lower elos.
They do. Yeah.
And so... I feel like, yeah, and when they random into a meso sieve, the win condition, it's like, who did I random Aztecs against? They're often like, oh, I got Aztecs against this, easy win. Oh, I got Aztecs against that sieve, I'm doomed. I see that a lot.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And this actually reminds me that one of the things that I saw that was really funny when I was looking at, like, when I was, like, doing, like, weird number crunching stuff, is that the one non-meso American civ, Incas, have one of the weirdest curves on win rate, where they're, like, they're high on the overall win rate, but their win rate declines as you go up. Like, very substantially. Like, they're, like, last time I looked at the numbers, they're, like, number 4 on the overall. And it was entirely being driven by sub 850 elo players.
And I think if you ask any pro, they will say that Incas are the strongest American civ.
I can believe that.
I think they consider Incas the best civ, one of the best civs in the game.
Let me take a look. Where are they at right now? Looks like they took a big tumble. Or I just missed them. Where are they? Where is Inca? Control F Inca. No, Incas are still sitting above 50. They're still sitting above 50. And yes, being driven primarily by... They've got an extremely high win rate in the sub 850. Which I think is interesting.
Yeah, I see no reason for it in particular.
Oh, well, for the Incas, I've got a very sensible explanation. It's terrible. The food cost.
Oh, yeah.
Food cost in a trash war, yeah.
I think
players being dragged into trash wars.
Incas,
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think Incas are the, if I remember correctly, they are the only civ that have eco bonuses on 3 different resources. Because they save wood on the houses, because they need less houses, they save food, and then they also have a stone discount, right?
Yep.
So yeah, in terms of eco discounts, they're the only civ that has 3 different res in eco discount bonus.
And they're functionally getting a double wood discount, right?
Yeah.
Like it's because the farming a food discount is in a way is in the long run a wood discount.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's
this is going rough.
This is a very non-orthodox engagement. A bunch of this is not standard AOE infantry wars. This is a lot of players
knew this was coming. Yeah. Infantry and monk wars, both sides using monks.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of players...
Splitting monks into Aztecs is a weird choice, but I'm liking it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But Jon Snow he stayed all of this time on 1 TC versus 2, so he has such a huge military lead right now.
Yeah, no, he's well, and not just that, but Shades is doing a double gold comp. Is doing Knights and Sergeants. And that's just a really expensive army. Whereas Slow is mixing in a lot of pikes.
Yeah, this is like an AI army, a little bit of everything. And though that's one thing, I feel like we are talking about the state of the meta and everything. One thing I see a lot more in pro play, especially Arabia, is players going for an army that's like 2 scouts, 1 spearman, 1 skirmisher, 1 militia, and 2 archers. I'm seeing that a lot more lately in the meta.
I think that this is a case of where, like, particularly micro difference is really telling. Shades, what the? What? Oh wait, no, that's John Slow. I mixed up the colors for a second.
I do that all the time. Do not worry.
I was like, why? I was like, are these pikemen going against Aztecs? What is happening? No, I got confused. I got confused because I thought the men at arms were. Oh no, the converted sergeants. That's what threw me. I was like,
yes.
That's what threw me. That's what threw me. I was like, it was the converted sergeants.
And Shade's going for 2 more TCs. So we really have a situation of one player is the aggressor, the other just wants to buy time. And we see Imp on the way.
Which is a tough one for the Sicilians, because the Sicilians don't have a lot going for them in Imp. Yeah. And Aztecs kind of don't get worse.
Oh yeah, Aztecs are really... All Mesoliths are great in Imp.
Yeah, they all... Yeah, the Aztecs are not a... That's like a funny piece of like perception I've seen. Is that some people think that Aztecs are primarily an early aggression civ that drops off in the late game, and that's just wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
It's something I've seen players do this, and like it's not even just like an Age of Empires thing. Like I remember that being like a thing people believed about the Arabic civ in Rise of Legends. Like, and because like the guys who made it like build it as like, oh yeah, like they have like this really like powerful rush, but then like falls off, and like that's a lie. The devs just lied about that. Yes. they were so strong in the late game, and their early game rush was the weakest of the rushes. And there's another thing with like Zerg is another one. People keep on thinking that Zerg is just about the rushes, and no, Zerg's late game army comp is really, really, really strong.
Yeah, during a long period of StarCraft 2 history that has been, Zerg late game was like, yeah, you win, you reach Zerg late game, you win. It was the time where the units that spawned army were too strong, but now huge engagement here.
Huge engagement. This is probably for all the marbles here. It's going to come down to Monk Micro, which Slow's good at. So, oh, no, John.
Huh?
Wow, not what I expected.
Not what I expected as well. I think John Slow... Oh, First Crusade for the Conversion Resistance, yes. And John Slow maybe losing the army. Yeah, this is the kind of game knowledge I do not have. I don't know what First Crusade does. But
First Crusade is a Sicilian castle tech that each town center spawns in 5 sergeants.
Ah, okay.
So if you're wondering how he built up his army so goddamn fast after getting cleared earlier, that's how.
Yeah.
We were not paying enough attention to this because honestly, this is probably why we should probably go back to mid and low elo.
Yeah.
Because both of us are looking at this from like, what the fuck are these guys doing? This was so weird. We were just talking about. We were just yapping. No, this was a.
I knew what I was signing up for. This is called chat and cast. I knew both of these things were going to happen, so. No one can say that this stream is a fake title or anything. I know people know what they are signing into.
yeah. No, this was a... Okay, that's genuinely pretty interesting. And yeah, this was a kind of interesting position to like win off of that because, you know, normally...
You don't win on defense, usually.
You don't normally win on defense, and Sicilians are a super aggro civ.
Yeah.
Right, like they're turbo aggro, and Aztecs are a scaling civ. Right, like they scale with so many things.
Yes.
Like that, I don't play them. I've never particularly liked them as much as I enjoy Aztec history. And of civs in this game, I think I may have met more Aztec people in real life than from any other civ that's in the game.
I would probably go for Portugal in my case.
Probably Portugal. But the United States is not represented, and unless, like, maybe if we're willing to abuse, like, Irish Americans count as Celts or something like that, like maybe. But I don't think that's really reasonable. But like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Aztecan people living in the United States.
Yeah.
And so like the Aztecs scale in this game really hard. You know, they've got the turbo sturdy monks. Their late game bonuses are incredible. We actually have a circumstance where Garland Wars and even Jaguar Warriors probably would have told.
Yeah.
Because
Yes, I wonder how well Jaguar Warriors do against the Sergeants.
I mean, we can look up the Spirit of Law video because I know he tested it.
Yeah.
But I know he tested it. I just don't remember how.
Yeah,
it turned
exactly,
out.
exactly.
Yeah, Garland Wars would have been very, very harsh here.
I think it was just that Jon Snow invested too much into the attack, or only on one TC, and he needed to cause more damage faster, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah,
and now
so
Shades
what
was
we're saying
running
is
away. Yeah,
and Shades was getting good mid-game defenses, I guess, what it comes down to. So really, oddly, a very low elo player thing paid off here, which is the stone walls plus castles.
yeah, exactly.
The kind of shit that players stop doing, do against like the AI.
Yes.
Like counter AI tactics worked against Jon Snow here. Like it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it just goes to show that's one of the things that I like about Age of Empires. Everything works in the right context.
Well, it's interesting, right? It's interesting to see like we've pointed out blunders, but the blunders are kind of complicated, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No.
Other than like taking bad engages and stuff like that, it's never been just like, oh, this person like built skirmishers, which are just like always a bad unit. It's like,
and
you know,
just because I was looking at the time, I'm going to give you two options. We either go for one of these faster matches, or we just yap for the remaining of the time. What would you prefer?
We can absolutely do at least one more match. Because that was like 15 minutes. Like one, in terms of real time, that was like 15 minutes. We got at least one more in us. I'm kind of feeling one of these arenas.
Okay.
Obviously not the 2.5-hour one that you're mousing over right now.
40 minutes. This is 30, and it's around the elo that we.
Let's do it. I feel like these Alex Tadashi and we can only see the tag.
Yeah, it's going to show up once I
like Molly and I like Poles. My younger brother, who I've been playing with, is one of those people who like he's really kind of fixated on one unit, even when it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And his fixated unit is we can definitely speed through the it's arena. He's really fixated on light cap. And so I'm really trying to get it. I'm partially just like in pain because he was playing Magyars a lot. He never builds CA.
Yeah.
I'm like, please.
A lot of people do not think Magyars have some of the best late game in the game with the CA and everything. Yeah,
their CA is insane. It's like one of the best units in the game.
Yes,
it's so strong. Doing the deer before the boar. Okay, this really shows I'm not an arena nerd.
I'm also not an arena nerd, by the way.
Yeah, I mean it's like minor differences. But like, doing the second boar. Good timing on the second boar. The first boar just ran out, so I always find that impressive. I was like that's the sort of thing I worry my brain about. It's like not at all the most important thing for me to win the game. It's something I do worry about.
And we already see shenanigans on the way.
Okay, the pulls. But yeah, like my little brother's like building light cav even when it's like not the right unit at all. And so he's. What is happening?
I think it's.
And so I'm like, I think Poland is like his country.
Okay.
Like if you want to like sit back and build farms and spam light cav into double gold comp armies, why not Poland?
Yeah, I agree. I think Poles is one of the best thieves for that. I agree. They also have the winged hussars. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Okay, this is weird. Okay, this is super weird. Okay, we're seeing the internal wall.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
the interior wall on arena.
And this is I feel like this clownage on arena is becoming more common. I feel like.
Watusi and Alex Tadashi.
Yes.
I mean, I just had the conversation with somebody on Reddit the other day that castle dropping on arena isn't a cheese strat.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just a standard opening. It's
Yeah.
just the normal opening on Arena. It's a chief strat on like Arabia or something like that, but on Arena that's just like that's no more cheesy than like an Archer opening on Arabia.
It's just one of the standard builds. I agree.
Yeah. This is not standard. This is shenanigans.
Yes.
And I don't know what to make of this as a matchup. Like, I don't know if are Poland good at tower rush?
Yeah, they are good for two reasons. First, you are
the
gaining
stone mining, yeah.
Yeah, you are getting the stun, and second, your villagers regenerate. So if you go to Vil fighting shenanigans, that regeneration.
You're ahead.
Yeah.
You're winning.
On the tiny tournament that I played, of course, towers and villager fighting were strong. So Poland was an S tier sieve. Poland and Khmer were the two of the best sieves.
Yeah, Khmer makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like a total anthropology nerd thing that like I only learned after I was playing Age of Empires. The R in Khmer is silent.
Oh, Khmer. Okay.
Yes, Khmer. I mean like Americans like the Khmer Rouge is like a thing that you learn about in history class here. It's like we always say Khmer Rouge. It's like I have had to like reprogram my brain just in the last like couple of months to get used to saying Khmer.
Khmer.
That's not me. I'm not trying. This is not,
no. I love these kind of lessons. For example, you were the first one who pointed out the thing of me of not all Meso-Civs in Age of Empires are Mesoamerican, and now I'm casting with other people, and I'm like, oh, did you actually know that? Not all. I'm spreading.
The point of the term Meso is to exclude the Inca. That's the reason why the term exists, is to draw a distinction between the Inca and the Aztec and Maya. The Aztec and Maya are Mesoamerican, Middle American, and Sud American, South American for the Inca.
Yeah.
I've become like weirdly pedantic about it. It's like it's such like a weird one to me. I'm like, no, give some respect to the Native American. They put up with enough bullshit.
Yeah.
They put up with enough bullshit. We can be nice to them in the video game.
And yes, Daniel. The outcasts. The hidden level. The hidden level. Go ahead.
So Daniel asked, why are Incas not Mesoamerican? So Meso in Mesoamerican means middle, and it refers to Mexico and Central America. So the Incas are south of that. It's like, like there's like top, center, bottom, right? Top, center, bottom. They're in the center, and that's what the Meso means. Meso means middle.
Yeah.
The Mesolithic era is the Middle Stone Age. Oh, this is.
Oh no, Almantas mic is. It shouldn't be cutting off. I hope it's not lag or anything. It's fine for me. Yeah, it should be on Daniel's end because I'm watching the stats and everything, and it should be everything fine. I'm hearing you perfectly.
Okay, sorry, Daniel. Yes, I might type that in. Just to make, in case the important part cut out.
Yeah, but oh, and hidden that's I'm famous for my horrible jokes. And I remember I think it was an arena or something, and the player left the base, and I was like, "Oh, now the Incas are the outcasts because they're no longer in the base."
Cute. The point from John, a nice castle edge can push us back. I agree. I don't. Yeah. And the thing is, like, Mali is really good in the mid game.
Yeah.
Mali has a phenomenal mid game. I love Mali, and like
Mali are a staple of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, for a civ that came into the game pretty late, they utterly rock. I like them quite a lot.
And yeah,
Farimba's such a good tech.
Oh yes.
Going around with camels that have 14 damage is so wild. It's so good. It's so good.
And like there are some unique units that you can ignore in the game. The Gabeto are not one of them. The Gabeto are such a good unit. They're
so cool. I did a game recently where my comp was camels and Gabeto, which is such an expensive comp, and it will not hold up in the late game. But like, when it's rolling, it rolls over a lot of stuff. You can solve a lot of problems with Gabeto and camels.
Yeah.
Very shockingly high DPS coming out of that.
Yeah, the Gabeto melt everything.
Gebeto melt everything. It's really funny to stand like just outside the range of a castle and just like be tearing down the buildings.
Yeah.
Having ranged arson's really good.
Yeah. And this is a problem with this kind of cute plays. If your opponent doesn't panic, then suddenly, okay, you're getting pushed back and...
What did you accomplish?
Yeah, exactly. What did you accomplish?
What he accomplished in truly material terms, what Watusi accomplished in truly material terms was forced earlier farming, and is that it? Like, destroyed a mill, forced earlier farming, slowed down but didn't actually stop the gold mining.
Yeah, and and now we see the counter play.
Yeah, we see the counter. I think this is a good time for a castle drop.
Yeah.
And he's got the gold. He's got the stone for it. 684 stone. He can do it. But yeah, now you've got 2 onagers. Your opponent didn't lose those resources. And how many towers is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 towers. So a lot of resources down the drain.
5 towers that got countered by 2 onagers.
Yeah.
Like, and the onagers aren't even gone. Like, it's not
exactly.
like
yeah, and the siege workshop is also not gone. Everything.
It's really just the mill. No, this is why I've done a little bit of tower rushing against the AI, who absolutely cannot fucking handle it.
Yeah.
It's extremely unfair. But also, I'm generally kind of skeptical about tower rushing. I recognize it as a important part of the game's strategy. And here Tadashi doing something that I think I like when castle droppers do, which is make sure that all the villagers are there first.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, and what's he doing the... Oh, can you read that?
Watashi ha avanzado a la edad de los castillos.
What does that mean?
Advance to the castle age.
Oh,
it's in Spanish.
I thought that was something he said. I was like, I thought
No.
I thought it was like a joke complaining about the castles.
No.
It
was Spanish for he advanced to the castle age.
Okay. Spanish, not Portuguese?
Yeah, Spanish, not Portuguese, yes. Oh, that's the... It's a fun thing, speaking about language for a bit. Like, both French and Spanish have a hard time understanding Portuguese. For Portuguese speakers, it's quite easy to understand both Spanish and French.
Interesting.
Today, I was watching a Junk and Bomb stream, and he started speaking in French with his Quebecois accent, and I was like, oh, I just understood every single thing you said. And he was like, oh, no, you didn't. And then I typed everything in chat in English, and he's like, okay, you are correct.
Yeah.
So, Portuguese can understand English, French and Spanish quite easily.
I actually did a kind of fun thing on about Age of Empires. I might want to like write down the stats in like a more concrete way, because I've just got it in like something I just like tallied up was the languages being used in the game. Because somebody was like, oh, wow, some of these languages sound really similar. And the Gebeto come out, hell yeah, time to throw some axes. And the slightly less than, I think it's 22 civs 23 of the civs in the game are on Indo-European languages. So that means slightly over half of the civs are in the same language family.
Yeah, that's...
which isn't super surprising. I can hear somebody being like, oh, is this like a complaint about Eurocentrism? Like, a little bit, but mostly it's just kind of... The Indo-European language is really extensive.
Yeah.
It covers, like, a lot of geography. Whereas, like, the only Uto-Aztec in the game is the Aztecs. And that's in no small part because, like, the other Uto-Aztecan languages are not really from groups that are well attested to until outside the game's time frame.
Yeah.
Like the Ute or the Comanche and stuff like that are like more Age of Empires 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it is kind of interesting to me, and like it is kind of interesting to me, and there's a lot of Slavic now represented. There wasn't when the game first.
Oh yes.
Now there's a lot of Slavic representation. Oh, and now Watusi is very much on the back foot.
Yeah.
Watusi is very much on the back foot. This is now a very bad situation for them. I don't want to call it yet because they're actually pretty close on top.
Yeah, but
villager parity.
Yeah, the thing that I think will win this one for Alex is not this push, is the call that he just made of adding 2 more TCs in the back. Because now, yeah, Watusi will have to focus completely on defense. Oh, but he's going in. Ooh.
He's going imp. Well, because the thing is, like, Holding gets bombards, right?
I think they do. I can check it. Yeah.
Bombards kind of turns this around really fast.
Yeah.
Just 1 or 2 bombards turns this around extremely fast, and I don't know what else you do to clean up the Gebetto. I would go Knights.
Yeah.
Certainly wouldn't go Obuks. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Like, possibly one of the worst choices he could make would be Obuks, but Knights I think would be pretty good. Yeah, if Watusi can kill that castle, well then it's a bit of a problem where I think Tadashi has a tempo advantage. Tadashi is housed, but Tadashi does have a huge tempo advantage in that he's on 3 TCs.
Oh yeah. Pulls me for Cav. What? I don't think that's the play.
I don't think it is either. I think Cav Archer might absolutely maul Gebetto, but I don't like it as much as even just going Hussars. Well,
yeah.
Light Cav. The Hussar upgrade is way too goddamn expensive for the value of it. But I think because Watusi's got that really that good food eco.
Yeah. Getting husbandry as well. I mean that works for both Light Cav and, but I would prefer just spam Light Cav and go
got all
wild.
Archer upgrades though. No melee Cav upgrades.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. He's really committing to. That's so strange. I'm not a fan.
I don't know why. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. I mean, again, they should manhandle the Gebetto pretty roughly, but
yeah.
Light Cav would deal with the Gebetto and the Onagers really well, and not cost the same resources that you need to be spending on bombards to clear out the castle, and push the initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Light Cav and a bombard would have been a much better idea.
See another market. Yeah, and full commitment, and they don't have Partian tactics, no ballistics yet.
No ballistics, no.
Yes, once again, that's our curse for today.
Once again, remembering all the times I've researched Thumb Ring, but not ballistics.
Yeah, and
the pain.
And Cav Archers can counter mangonels, but you're just making your life harder.
Yeah, it's much harder than just throwing like 10 Light Cav at the problem.
Let's see how this goes.
You could have just thrown 10 Light Cav and it would have been you would have at the very least gotten value. Oh, okay, that's very funny.
Yeah,
very funny, very funny outcome here.
Okay, but yeah, the Light Cav Archers turns out are good, I guess, like a better, but not insane.
No, because they're. I mean, Gebetto just do so much goddamn damage.
Yeah,
like it's you'll win. I don't know, but at what cost? You know, you'll win. I'm pretty sure that they'll come out ahead. It's just not a good win. It's not clean. And whereas Light Cav, like, they don't cost gold.
Yeah.
Just throw them in.
Just start. You're playing the polls. Yeah, get the Folwarks, get the Light Cav, get
the Legacy, so that you can get the trample damage and make the Gebetto really suffer.
Yeah.
Because Gebetto are super fragile. That trample damage will be really effective against them. Because they have to stay close to each other, or else they don't get that incredible DPS that they're counting on as their main defense. And then you're getting trample damage.
Yeah.
No, like Light Cav is such a better option here. Oh.
Okay, he is going for ballistics at least and thumb rings. But yeah, I agree that.
Rings first, no.
Yes. Someone needs to watch more.
You miss 100% of the shots that don't track.
Yeah.
Okay. See, and again, now he's got monks out. Please, Light Cav.
Yeah.
Please, you're killing me.
Welcome to the life of a caster. Yeah, this is, and you would love that match. I've won a match where casters were screaming at me left, right, and center. I've played the Britons without building a single archery range, and I won. And you can imagine how
What? Oh, wait, hold on. What do you need? What do you need?
I
Who
went.
gives a shit? You don't get thumb ring. Who cares?
I went. No,
Who
but
gives a shit?
no, I went Britain's full halberdier. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I
I
didn't.
thought you just were like, who cares about archery ranges? I'll just build 5 castles and just build.
No,
nothing but
no, I
walls.
didn't build almost any archery units. It was halberdier and scouts, and I won the game. And casters were
Oh.
just screaming, why are you picking Britons?"
Okay, he is getting the melee cav upgrades.
Yeah.
We're still on nothing for the light cav, but please build it, my friend. Wheelbarrow, late wheelbarrow, but
Yeah.
better late than never. Wheelbarrow's really strong.
Exactly.
Bloodlines coming out on Molly. Because Molly does have good cav. Again, I love Molly. I love mix-up games. I love civs that can swap all over the place.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Just trebbing down the.
Yeah, get those relics out.
Okay, and these Gabetta are gonna get.
Yeah,
They're not. They're going to.
the number difference now is too huge.
Yeah, on even numbers, it's a little bit closer. And also now they've got ballistics.
Yeah.
Right.
And GG's
So-
called.
GG's called. Fascinating. What a weird game.
Yeah, this was so strange.
This was so. Watusi is playing. I wonder if Tadashi was just like stun locked by Watusi going for cav archers like we were. Like we're
Yes,
just like
what?
we're not even trying to play the game. We're just like, why cav archers? Why? What are you doing? What is your goal here? Yeah, the tower rush on arena, which is really goofy.
Yeah.
Really goofy. I would completely understand if somebody said that arena's their favorite map purely because you don't get tower rushed. I would think it was odd because tower rushes aren't that common, but I would respect it.
Oh, there was a day on my, I don't know what happened. I played like 5 ranked matches, 4 of them I got tower rushed. It's like one of those days. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
That is rough. But yeah, oh, this was such a goofy play.
Yeah, and somehow the tower rush player was the one that won.
Yeah, no, it looks like the tower rush went horribly. Looking at it, here's my main look at it. We were focusing a lot on Watusi because Watusi was making weird decisions, so we didn't really pay as much attention to Tadashi's mistakes.
Yeah.
So I see a couple of mistakes that Tadashi made. And there's a really, really big one that I can see on the screen right now. And I'm curious if you see it.
I mean, I see like a... One that I saw in the game was like a military production overall. But...
Yeah, look at the top right. What do you see in the top right of the screen?
Yeah, a lot of floating gold? No,
So much floating.
Oh, no military
floating.
upgrade.
No, I was looking at the float.
Oh yeah, the float, but also this, no blacksmith upgrades. That's huge as well.
Yeah, no forge for the Gabetto. No, he just got himself into a position where he was exerting pressure and he was free to choose whatever, and then he did nothing.
Yeah.
Like he was free to do whatever, and what he was set himself up to do was to do turbo boom, to go like 120 villagers and just drown Watusi in Farimba Light Cav.
Yeah.
Like Farimba Light Cav with like the occasional camel. Like would have done it, right? Or like a more standard comp with with like Gabetto and Halberdiers or something. The sky's the limit when you're Molly. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Molly rules. I wouldn't recommend hand cannoneers. That feels like it feels very dubious into polls. But it Tadashi had all the options in the world and then just sat there.
Yeah, and do you want to know an amazing stat that I just realized? Tadashi built more stables than cavalry units.
Oh my goodness.
He built...
And see, like, the situation is winnable from here, because look at his float alone, 792 food, 1,200 gold.
Get Scorps for the...
Knights.
yeah, get Scorps, get Knights, and you clear this. Scorps and Knights.
Yeah, this is a clearable army. It's a clearable
and
army,
you're hard to raid. You have, yes, your opponent is pushing, but you have a castle here on the side. You still have 3 TCs here. You won't I think he didn't understand that he was playing against 1 TC. I think he resigned, then he saw the 1 TC and the build different, and he was like, oh, why did I resign?
Because like again, like he's how many stables has he got?
3 stables, and he built
3 stables.
2 scouts.
How long does it take to build? I mean, this is game knowledge stuff. If I don't know it, why would I expect you to know? However long it takes to build a white cat, right? You know, he can build 15 light cav, and he can upgrade them super fast because one of his big upgrades is at the castle, and then the others are at the blacksmith. He has bloodlines already. 15, 16 light cav, and this is over.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is over, and then he's got the initiative again. Because neither of them are exerting strong map control on the rest of the map at this point.
Yeah, and these
right?
are
they're both just arena clowning. They're just hanging back in their walls. And even if you lost the monastery right there, the 4 relics are still inside your base. like you clear this with a bunch of light calves, build another monk in the back of your base, and walk forward, pick it up, and put it all back.
Yeah, and these are, you're not playing against the Magyars or anything. These are not the best cav archers in the game.
They're not good cav archers. Like, this is basically like the end of the lifespan for these cav archers, to be honest. Like, they don't have the final armor upgrade. I think you said they don't have Parthian?
Yeah, they don't have Parthian. Only thing missing is heavy CA, but that's a huge investment.
Yeah, it's what Tusi should be going into is, you know, either Tusi actually has a kind of rough time with comp, to be honest, because I mean, again, Molly's just super strong.
Yeah.
Up until you force it, once it's forced into Trash Wars, Poland's probably got the advantage. But I don't actually know what the matchup between Malian Light Cav and Polish Light Cav looks like.
Oh, I also have no idea who would win that.
Because Furima's crazy. Furima's so strong.
Yeah, Furima's like, amazing. Yeah.
I think it should favor the Poles.
And Furima was in already.
Yeah. I think it should favor the Poles, but only if you assume that the Malian player builds literally 0 camels. If they build like any camels, then the Poland like camels and Gebetto is really hard for Poland to deal with.
Yeah, I agree. He spent more money on Furima than he did on Cav.
Yeah, oh my goodness, that's really painful.
And that's one thing I see a lot at ECLO, especially in closed maps. Players just don't produce military. And then they lose, and they're like, oh yeah, I didn't produce military. GG, let's go next one. And it's like, but I agree with you. At this point, you can still fight.
Very. I mean, it's especially. I'm actually mostly surprised because like that tower rush, he defended that tower rush super well.
Exactly.
Like he gave the space at an extremely good measured pace to make it cost as much as possible for Watusi, and then pushed it all back with very little effort.
I think this was a lot of, we talk about the mental aspect. I think he got too comfortable. I think he assumed that the game was won. And he was not expecting this soon. He was like, okay, I won the early game, now let's go super late game, and I win because I arrived there faster. And Watusi did the right thing. He didn't try to, a lot of times, both players after the opening go for the same playstyle. And if you try to match your opponent and you start behind, you're just going to fall more behind. So Watusi did the right thing. He was like, I can't play standard because if I do, I'm already behind. I'm just going to lose this.
Yeah, well, and it's. I mean, the turbo late game gets interesting in this matchup. And it's one of those reasons why, like, I'm looking at Molly and I'm like, I don't know how much I like Molly as a arena civ, but I'm also not a good arena player, so I don't really know, like, the tempo and pacing for arena that well. But for like post-imp stuff, Molly's generally not considered super great.
Yeah.
You know, like the lack of blast furnace really starts to add up. I think they also don't have bracer.
Yeah, they don't.
No bracer, no blast furnace, like, does add up in the late game. It starts getting quite painful. You definitely have a lot of advantages as Molly, because Molly's crazy, but like they're not generally rated as like a high, like a super good post-imp, super good late game civ. They're generally rated as like castle through like starting at around minute 20 up until like minute 45. You're really, really strong.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you start
yeah.
to kind of fall off. Maybe closer to an hour, I should say. But like you in those like turbo late game situations, if it had gone to a rope-a-dope thing, it's like, why did you do this? Like why did you do this? Like the you're not really playing to your strength as Molly. Like he had his opponent. He did a really good counter clear.
Yeah.
He had presence in the mid. He had way more map presence than his opponent. His opponent has some trebs and some cav archers, which is nice, but like, again, all of it manhandled by camels and or light cav.
Yeah.
And he just built nothing but like not enough Gebetto to really matter. Yeah, like you said, I'm generally with you that like he did a really good job in the early game, and then maybe I'm seeing myself a little bit here. Maybe that's why I feel like making me a little bit more cranky. My mid game tends to be my worst part. But like he was on 3TC super early, but you can see he's floating food. He's had idle TCs. Can we see the idle TC time? Yeah, 13 minutes of idle TC time.
Yeah,
and he's not at he's at less than 100 villagers. Like he has no business being at less than 100 villagers at this point.
Yeah.
And
13 minutes for 3 TCs at this point, that's not that high.
It's not that high.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of highlighting like what his strategy was. He had options here, right? Because he had total control. He had all the initiative, and his main options were use that forward castle to just continually exert pressure.
Yes.
That's option 1. And option 2 is use that castle as an annoying distraction that forces him to make a defensive castle and forces him to do all this crap. And then I sit back and I turbo boom on 3TC.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it. He didn't do the turbo boom. He didn't exert the pressure and he didn't do the turbo boom. He just didn't build shit with his resources.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree.
He just didn't spend it. And I'm like I said, I think I'm partially annoyed because this is something that I see for myself. I gotta say, like I've been playing around with doing new hotkeys, which has been a bit of a learning curve.
Oh, that's something I was good to comment. I feel like Alex Tarashi, I felt like he doesn't have a lot of hotkeys. I don't know why that. Sometimes you get that feel as a caster.
Yeah.
I felt like he got a bit overwhelmed with production and everything. Hotkeys are very important in the closed maps because you need to get good production.
A change that I made, and I'm proselytizing it, which I probably shouldn't do because it's probably a competitive advantage for me. But I'm not really playing that much comps or whatever. So the way they set up the hotkeys by default is that you use a modifier key to go through your production buildings. You like Control B or whatever, or Control K or whatever, or Shift K or whatever. I just set it to a single key. So Tab is select all town centers, and Z is select all barracks.
Yeah, for me, mine are funny. F3 select all stables, F4 select all archery ranges, F5 select all. I did the same, but it's the F keys. F6.
Yeah, I use the I use the F keys a lot, so I actually have those as control groups for mostly for months, which I don't actually use that often. I was trying to be a Bohemia player, so I was using it for that purpose. But no, I particularly I recommend these. Like, this is something that pros talk about. Like, older pros prefer to use control groups, but I really recommend making it so it's a single key press for select all.
Yeah,
and also do it again. You want it to be the select all, not the cycle.
Yes,
because then it doesn't take you away from the action.
Exactly. I 100% agree. That's how I do it as well.
Yeah, hit tab. Again, I have tab for select all town centers. Hold down Q to build villagers. I can just do that while microing combat.
Yeah, and
incredibly powerful.
A fun thing is that just goes to show how different games are. For example, in StarCraft, I played a lot of StarCraft competitively. I was Diamond almost Master. So maybe even higher than Age of Empires. And one of the most important things you'll learn in StarCraft is getting rid of the select all hotkeys. It just brings you bad habits. But this is not StarCraft, and I feel like in Age of Empires, select all army, select all idle army, select all idle villagers, select all military, those just makes the game so much more enjoyable and easier.
Well, I do think like there is a contrast point in the case of StarCraft, where partially because StarCraft is like such a more APM intensive game, but also like the big one that they have in StarCraft is like they have a what was it, like F1 or something, is select
F2.
all military.
F2. And the all pro says unbind that
wild.
key. Yeah.
Wild. Incredibly difficult to make any use out of that. Insanely difficult to get utility out of that one. I mean, I guess if you've got like massive macro advantage and you've got a Protoss Death Ball and you just use attack move in the direction of the enemy base, like, yeah, it'll finish the game off pretty well. But like for most of the game that you're playing, for most of the game that I'm playing, for most of the game that I was playing, of StarCraft, like you're like doing super micro nerd stuff with like your stalkers and stuff is like 80% of what you're doing, and like if you're using your stalkers and your zealots in the same group, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Like you're going to get shredded.
Yeah, but
no, I mean, like part of it is also like the production thing, because there is a place where I don't know if this is still recommend, but I know that like there was one place where StarCraft players did like select all, which is select all larva.
oh yes.
They do like select all larva, and that's like the equivalent here, right? Like select all larva is the equivalent to like
Select all
TCs.
Yeah.
Or select all barracks. Like that is the equivalent here. And it's but yeah, like this is a different game, and it's particularly like, honestly, I don't know what would happen if I did like a concentrated like attempt to push my elo up at this point, but I suspect that what would be the two things that would make me do better than other people at my elo, one, I'm pretty good at the Dark Age eco. I tend to rarely do I struggle with a deer push. My deer pushing tends to be very smooth, etc., that kind of crap. And two is I'm now with hotkey changes, I'm pretty good about producing military while I'm attacking, producing villages while I'm attacking. Like not because like that's the thing that like players tend to do so much is they fall behind on producing eco while they're fighting.
Yeah.
Like they're in military mode or they're in economics mode, and they're not in both. And it's actually really, I was always kind of a doubter about it because it's just so hard to like the eco has a lot of management.
Yeah.
Right. There's like a whole, and like I was very much in the habit for a very long time of like, once I decide that I need to do eco stuff, I like at least pull my army back from a dangerous place.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep the TC queue. Just keep the TC queue active, and when you have a moment, you can figure out like, oh, okay, I'm like floating like 500. I've got like 20 woodcutters to 10 farmers. I can rebalance that. But
yeah,
you can worry about that later. The important part is making sure that they get made.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, there's one thing we won't do it today because we have to wrap it up soon.
Yeah, we're into the final.
One thing I wanted to do with you, but it will have to be for maybe a future stream. I wanted to do me playing a game while you can pick my brain and say like, what are you thinking? Like we did the casting, but it would be me playing the game and you watching my POV and saying, what are you thinking about? What are you doing? I would like to try that challenge, but maybe for a future. But yeah, go ahead.
I was just looking at what Daniel and John are saying in chat. Yeah, I mean, if the deer pushing is a practice, but yeah, the produce vills is a muscle. It's a muscle that you have to. I mean, you should not count on me as a coach. I am not Hera.
Yeah, yeah. That would be like a coaching session, but usually it's the one getting coached. That place, this would be the opposite. I'm the player, and I would be teaching you because you could pick my brain while I play. It's something experimental that I thought about, and who knows?
It feels like applying a debuff to you. It's adding an extra task to what you're doing.
Oh, I like the challenges.
all right.
But yeah, I think you need to wrap up.
Yeah, I'm getting towards the end. I've got an appointment this afternoon that I got to take care of.
Yeah,
I
know.
Got to take care of this. But Nando, this was really good. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. And
this is. I might actually have more fun talking about the game than playing it. But that's true of a lot of games, to be honest. But yeah, no, thank you for having me on. This game was particularly an interesting one.
Yeah, and for me it was definitely a huge pleasure. I love both parts. I love chatting and I love Age of Empires. So for me, this is the best of both worlds. And as I've said before, I'm a huge fan of your content, so I do appreciate you spending some time here with me. I always feel like it is both amazing and also like, it's already over. I wanted to go for 5 more hours.
I could have kept going for a while.
Yeah, no, but it was a huge. I honestly had a huge blast, and I hope you also had it.
Absolutely. All right. So yeah, I'm going to. I think it's time for us to wrap up.
Yeah.
As mentioned, my scummy self-promotion thing here. I am mostly on Twitch. I'm mostly on Twitch. I'm pretty active on my Discord and on kind of active on my Twitter. I don't know. YouTube. I kind of just upload stuff that I've done. Probably the best thing I did on there, other than the lectures, was I've got a pretty good video of me doing calligraphy of an old Irish fight song that I timed up pretty well. I think that's a pretty good video. But anyway, I'm doing a subathon next week over on Twitch for the people who watch Twitch, and Nando will be joining me next week or the week after, something like that.
Probably the weeks after, because next week I'll be in the Netherlands. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This weekend is Clonk, and then I think next weekend might actually be Saffron.
Oh, I'm curious because I'm a huge fan of Saffron. So.
Oh, I love Saff. Me and Saff is like the. There's not a lot of people in the VTubing space who I get to talk with about like academic topics, and like Saff I love. Saff me and Saff are talking about great divergence.
I saw your struggle to write that argument with Saffron on Twitter. Like that was so funny, like 7 tweets in a row just to get your point across. I laughed so hard.
It's a super complicated point.
Yeah,
it's not super complicated. It's just like Saff is making a point that I think is pretty reasonable, which is that for a Great Divergence theory, you need to like colonialism is the fundamental cause for the Great Divergence, and my point is just that all that really does is push the question back further. That doesn't actually solve the question; that just pushes it back further, because how was Europe able to do colonialism? Right? Like why were they the ones who were successful at this project of multi-continental expansion very rapidly and aggressively? In a way that like the Mongols did radically successfully, but like why did it turn out this way for Europe? Is like you've just made the question different. You've just made the question not 1800, you've made the question 1600. Daniel, I do not like CGP. I have problems with Gray. I think Gray does a lot of bad analysis. I think the really good book for it is Pomerantz's The Great Divergence, and he goes into a lot of really good theories about it. Domesticatables kind of help, but obviously, like that doesn't really answer a good question about India in particular. India is the biggest part of the question, where you have to, where it's like really messy. Is like why was Portugal, France, and Britain able to conquer various Indian princely states with such impunity? Is a really difficult and interesting question. I didn't mean to be mean to you, Daniel. I just wanted to be like, there's a lot of things going on here, and it's a problem I guess I have as a streamer. I'm used to this kind of disagreement. I think it's fine and friendly. I'm not mad at you, Daniel, at all. I'm not trying to be a hater.
Oh, don't worry. People here know. Like usually things here are pretty chill, and people know that I wouldn't have a mean co-streamer.
I'm not
with
trying
me.
to say that I'm not trying to say you're bad. I just have colonialism was one of my main subjects of study when I was a professor. I have read many thousands of pages, and it's really defied a lot of simple explanations. Amusingly, the one simple thing that everybody agrees on is actually the thing that in the pop culture people think is often hard to agree on, which is the morality of it. All the historians are in pretty unanimous agreement that it was incredibly evil.
Yes.
It's actually really kind of interesting to me that, like, I will talk to people from outside of academia and they think that historians, that, like, they're like very difficult to have an argument about the ethics of various historical figures and times and places. And oftentimes it's actually really easy. Like, oftentimes, like, establishing, like, did this thing even literally happen is sometimes much harder than was it a bad thing or not. It's just interesting. But yeah, no, thank you again for having me on, Nando.
I think I've shared Almantas' links here for the subathon. Everything is in the description. Always glad to have you here, and I think we would starting down a rabbit hole in this. We don't want the stream to go for another hour because you have appointments.
I have dinner. I do got to take care of this. The sooner the better. All right. So goodbye, Nando's chat.
Bye everyone. Thanks for everyone who joined from my side. Thanks for, I see Emperor's Armpits as well. I know they're from Almantas' community. I do know the names.
Emperor's Armpits is an old head. He's an old Al fan.
Remember to leave a like and follow me and Almantas on social media if you enjoy and want to see more from both of us. And that's it for tonight. Bye everyone. Have a great night.
Goodbye.